Good Sunday evening, everybody. Hello, hello, all. Good to see you. Of course, my guest Scott is the first one to post. Mr. Redjack, you are losing your touch, sir. I don't know if you're here, there you are. You're here. Okay. I don't know what you're losing your touch, my friend. The last few weeks, people have been beating you to being the first guy posting. So I don't know what's up with that, but hello, thank you. I appreciate you as always. Thanks for dropping in, David, of course, and Oz. And David, to answer your question, nah, man. For me, it's 8 o'clock Eastern always. On a few very rare occasions, I have done it at different times, but very, very few occasions. Typically, it's 8 here. And then I think you said you were 16 hours, right? So yeah, that makes sense. So it would be 12 hours is 8 a.m. And so noon, yeah, lunchtime for you. So no, not 11 a.m. at your time. It would always be noon. So you must be confusing. Maybe you're just remembering one of the times I might have started early, but potentially, yeah. But yeah, for you, if it's 16 hours, then yeah, always noon your time, my friend. And Rickster, what is up, sir? Good to see you as always. Jason Ladway, good evening to you. Number one Marvel fan. Yo, what is up? Mr. Easy Go Lucky, as always. Hello, hello. And CJ, what's up, sir? Good to see you, man. Whoa, Ian Saints, early tonight. Good to see you too, sir. Hopefully you can stick around a bit. And I know you probably got family things to go back and forth with, but that's cool. Glad to see you either way. And who do we else? I was going to say guys. I always say, I always try to be inclusive, saying hello to all the guys and gals. But typically the only gal here is usually my wife. Hey, honey, good to see you. Thanks for the support as always. Aloha as always to you, Carl. Good to see you too, my friend. And what do we got? Yes, exactly. 3 p.m. in my 5. Yeah, that's right. It's one of the rare times I'm ahead, other than just to the West Coast. So, yep, 3 p.m. in Maui. So good to see you as always, Carl. Good to see that you can tune in. And you're here, Marcus. What's up, dude? How was the show? Let us know. How was the San Fran show? Let us know. Did anybody actually end up going ultimately? Because even in the extra pictures that you posted, I don't know. It just looks like there was nobody there. It looks like it was a comic art con for dealers. So that was kind of odd looking. I don't know what that's all about. Murdoch, good to see you too, sir. Thank you as always, Mr. Easy Go Lucky. Hey, TJ, what's up? Good evening to you. Southern Comic Geek, what's up to you, sir? And hey, nice. Always love getting some new guys coming in to hang out. Tat Comics. First time your channel. I appreciate it. I'm assuming that you must know Hoarders Hide Scott Brown. I'm sure he's the one who brought you in here. I'm assuming. Let me know. But always welcome, my friend. I hope you enjoy the chat and the show and tell. And Scott's listening and watching from behind the scenes right now, Southern Comic Geek. So he's seeing the "Don't Scratch the Art" comment. And so nice of Jason. So nice. Thank you, Jason, for the nice warm welcome to the new viewer. I appreciate that. And lots of elbow room. Did you go, Rick? Did you actually travel there? And that looks like an obvious, not, I wouldn't say call it a joke, but let's call it being facetious, shall we? Good to see you too, Derek. Were you there, Derek? And what else we got? I want to make out the West Coast for that art show. Yeah, you would have been by the sounds of it. You might have been the only one there if you went, Murdoch, and you wouldn't have met anybody apparently. I don't know. So yes, thank you, Tat Comics. Thank you, appreciate it, man. And here's another warm welcome to you, Tat, CJ, a viewer from day one, never missed a show as far as I can remember. Maybe one, I don't know. CJ, remind me. But basically, always here. So Very cool. Really appreciate it. We'll make room out here for you, Murdoch. I'm sure you, by the looks of it, you guys had the room. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. But more so than subscribing, I hope you like it enough that you ultimately return. It's a once per week show. I do it regularly every week, but just once a week at the same time, most of the time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. So hopefully you'll like it enough that you'll come and check out future shows. I want viewers more so than I want subbers, you know. And I want most of my subbers to be viewers. So there you go. But yeah, man, appreciate it. You're gauging by the picks. Yeah, exactly. That's where. So you're not the only one. Going to the next one in Jersey. Okay, well at least you got one to go to. Okay, guys. Hey, let's. Why don't we get the show on the road? Let me bring in my new pal, Hoarders Hyde, aka Scott Brown, or as I like to call him, Scott Brown, aka Hoarders Hyde. What is up, sir?
Hey, everyone.
Ready to play some hockey, I see.
Always.
Are you?
I picked tonight because it was an away game.
I was going to say, are you a hockey fan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
We've got a local farm team, like a AAA, ECHL, about an hour away. So I've got season tickets there.
Oh, cool. Wow. Okay. Wait, can I ask? I don't even think I asked. Whereabouts are you? What state are you in?
Southeastern Ohio.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So how far is that from the Blue Jackets? Because that's Columbus.
I'm 80 miles east of Columbus.
80 miles. Oh, okay. Okay. So you could make it, but it's not like it's just down the street kind of thing for
right.
You know.
Well, yeah. In the team I go to, they're 60 miles away, but it's a smaller market.
Yeah.
So it's quick in and out. It's not like dealing with Columbus traffic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I can be there and back in 45 minutes, and it's an hour and a half at best to Columbus and back.
Oh, very cool. Some more welcomes coming in by the Rickster. That's how you hide a hoard. That's very true. And Jason says, serious hoard going on.
That's only, you can't see the rest of it.
Yeah, that's just a token, right?
Yeah.
CJ says, Hoarders Hide comics? I thought this was about someone who collects and tans animal skins.
I guess you'd see a little more in that.
Holy crap. Look at that. But you know what's funny, Scott, that CJ, I'm glad that CJ brought up this the little joke that he made here, because I got to tell you, man, when I first saw your name on Instagram, the first name that came to my mind also when I saw Hoarders Hide, it wasn't about, hoarding. It was the word hide. So I was like, Hoarders Hide. So I don't know. What does he do with hides? He does something with hides and hoards them. I don't know. That's weird. I wasn't thinking about hide and go seek hide, type of hides, So I had to ask you, but I figured I'm going to wait until we get on screen live, and then I'll ask you what's the thought and the origin behind the Hoarders Hide name.
It's kind of a play on, I don't know if you've ever heard the term sniper's hide.
I haven't. Sniper, like a sniper with a gun?
Right, sniper. Yeah, I'm a firearms collector, recreational shooter. Love to shoot. So
okay.
And it's sort of a play on that. It's where I hide my hoard.
Okay. So it is. Okay, that's what I was kind of thinking after the fact. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm definitely a hoarder.
Okay, you're definitely a hoarder. Okay. Because I also when I realized that it wasn't about tanning hide, animal skins, I was thinking, oh, so is it some kind of a thing where he considers himself like a true, one of those hoarders you see on television with the sickness, and they're hiding from the from the real world by hiding inside the house all the time? Or I wasn't sure if it was that or. So good to know that you cleared that up. But now, did you mean to say hiding the hoard of firearms or of like comics, comic art, and all that stuff?
No comment.
I got my answer, my friend. Thank you.
This is America, so
No, I know. Believe me.
You know, and Ohio is one of the easier states to navigate.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. The laws are pretty favorable for firearms owners in Ohio. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very possible that there may be more firearms in your possession than there are in the entire country here where I am.
It's a possibility.
That's funny. All right, so Scott,
I might have more in my pocket right now than are in the whole country.
holy shit! Now that would be scary, but I'll take your word for it, and I want to see it. Why don't we, before we get to the art and the show and tell, if it's cool with you, I always like to, and especially in this case, since most of my audience doesn't know you, if you would be cool with maybe going back a little bit into your past, tell us all a little bit about like how you got into comics and then made that segue into discovering original art eventually.
I guess typical origin story, like most people you find. Almost everybody started as a kid, and then at some point stopped.
Right.
Very few people collect their entire life.
Though? What age was it for you though? Before you stopped, I mean,
before I stopped.
Yeah, I mean when you first started reading, and yeah,
probably between about 6 and maybe 10 or 12.
Oh, okay.
So late 70s to early 80s.
Okay. Okay. So can I ask how old you are? Do you mind?
49. Had to think for a second.
49. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, okay. Nice. And then in those years, though, were you strictly like up until the time you stopped? Were you just reading and enjoying, or did you already pick up the habit of the idea of collecting, so taking care of the condition and all that?
Well, yeah, yes and no. I read. I kept pretty decent care of them. I wasn't to roll them up, put them in your back pocket. I kept them neatly stacked. Spider-Man and Hulk were my two things. That's back in the Underoos heydays.
Underoos. By the way, I never had any. I never had a single pair of Underoos. I just want to state that for the record.
But the old Spider-Man TV show was airing, and the old Incredible Hulk. So again, that's probably why I was into it. But then at some point, I have no idea why, I just decided to stop.
Oh, and interesting that you don't remember why. Wow.
I really don't. I remember throwing all my comics in the burning barrel, though.
You what?
I literally burnt them all.
Why?
I honestly, I don't know to this day. No clue. I probably because I was more of a pyro than I was a comic book reader. So I don't know.
That's crazy, dude. I mean, it's one thing to it's already odd enough for me to think, oh, how do you not remember why you would stop, reading comics? But to then take them and burn them, and then, which is another odd thing, but then not even remember why you took them and burned them. That's even more odd. Like, it's just getting odder and odder by the second, man. That's wild. That is.
I remember burning some pretty expensive basketball cards too, which kind of makes me sick. But that's another story.
That's my God. That is.
Back in the day when I was done with something, I was done with it. Apparently.
Apparently. I'm just trying to still kind of think. You stopped at around age 10-ish or so. I'm just thinking when I was 10. I mean, like, I don't know. I think I remember pretty well. How I was into comics and what I was doing at the time. And it's just weird to think, how could you stop and then not even know why you stopped and then burn them and not know why you burned? That's wild, man. That's like one of the craziest stories I've heard on this channel so far, Like, that's wild. I don't even know what to say about that. It's like, guys, what anybody else have anything to say? Because I'm speechless. I'm just like, what are you talking about? May I ask, do you remember how many comics you may have had when you decided to burn them?
It was probably less than 100 because I had subscriptions. I had subscriptions to Spider-Man and Hulk. And I can remember it was right around a change in the title name on the Spider-Man. But I remember getting the subscriptions in the mail every week, or I mean every month, or however often they came.
Yeah.
So I probably had, again, 75 or 80. And during that time frame, there was really nothing. I've gone back and kind of looked to see if maybe I burnt any, $1 million books, which
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything very valuable in that time frame.
Right. Caesar says that's why you hoard them now.
It could be. Could be.
But you don't know because of course you don't remember. I'm yanking your chain, of course.
Yeah, there was only one book that I actually remember having, and I went out and reacquired, and I actually have several copies of it now.
Okay.
And it probably came out in like 79, 78. It was Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man, and it was given out in the Columbus Dispatch. So there was lots of promotional books that went into a lot of the major newspapers.
Yeah. Can you? So, because I know there were a few. I think there were at least 2 or 3 that were Spidey and Hulk. Can you describe what's happening on the cover of that one?
Spidey's swinging and Hulk's in a jump right beside him.
Okay.
Was it called the Back to School Special?
Okay. Yeah. I remember mostly the it's saying that it was for the Columbus Dispatch. Yeah. So that's cool. And so you decided to purposely get multiple copies of that?
Yeah, here recently I have. So here's
that's the one. Okay.
And right here it even says, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've gotten recent copies or multiple copies of that just because it's of all the books that I had back then, it's the only one that really stands out. And I remember plain as day, I went into the newsstand to get the Sunday paper. Dad sent me in to get the paper, and on the way out, it was a rainy day. The book fell out from in between the Sunday paper and went into a puddle of water. And then Dad gave me money to go back in, and so I started crying, and he gave me money to go back in and buy another copy so I could have the book that wasn't wet.
Right. That's funny. That's funny. Good dad, though. I like that. Props to the dad, man. That's very cool.
Yeah, he probably tried me to go and get one for free first, but
right. Okay, cool, man. So, all right. So, you drop off at around age 10. What age do you then suddenly rediscover comics?
18, 19.
Wow. Okay. College. So at that, okay, I was going to say you were in college at that point.
Yeah.
And by the way, being in Ohio, where did you go to college?
So I started off at Kent State.
Okay.
And then finished at OU.
Oh. So you actually went to? Oh, you mean OSU?
No, Ohio University.
Oh, Ohio University. Okay. Good. I'm happy. Because I cheer for Michigan teams. So I'm Ohio State University is like I like to rag on them, since they rag on us. It's a big rivalry in football. So
yeah, I don't cheer for any college team. So that's
okay.
Doesn't bother me a bit.
Okay, perfect. And when you discovered it, rediscovered the comics, was it just by coincidence? Or was it you kind of thinking, hey, comics, I haven't looked at them in a while, or somebody put them in front of you, or like how did it happen?
One of the somebody in the dorm, he and I went to grab lunch somewhere, and it was a bar called the Library.
Okay.
Which was nice because I could always say I was at the library, and I was.
Yeah.
Usually was getting drunk though. But after we left there, he asked if we could run to the comic store real quick before going back to the dorm, and I'm like, sure, whatever. And so while I was in there, I just picked up a couple books and started back up again.
Okay, cool. And so that would have been what, like 90, 91-ish, right? 92 maybe?
91.
Yeah,
Yep,
91. Okay.
91.
Okay, cool. And at that point, did you start sort of like heavy going into it, and like, did you seek out a comic shop, for instance?
Well, yeah, I started using the local shop there in Kent, and also,
Okay.
well, then I looked for one back around, the hometown, which there really wasn't.
Right.
But yeah, I wouldn't say super heavy, but I started picking. That's when Valiant first started.
Right.
The first book I picked up was Eternal Warrior 1, Archer and Armstrong 1.
Right.
So the
the
Magnus Harbinger Solar had already been out for a few issues.
Right.
And then that was also the month that Volume 3 Spectre #1 came out. Which is
and for those of you who well, all of you who don't know, Scott is a very big Spectre fan. And so
one
with
way
that,
of putting it.
yeah, was that the beginning of the Spectre
Yes.
sort of falling in love with the character?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Everything. I mean, I knew all the other. I don't want to say all the other books. I knew a lot of the other books, and characters are up on the walls.
Yeah.
But didn't know anything about Spectre. Didn't know anything about any of the Valiant stuff.
Okay.
So, to me, that seemed like a good place to kind of dive in.
Okay. Cool. And somebody I'm assuming Nick's Kicks and Comics. Says, hey, yo, sub panel and chat. Good to see you. Thank you for dropping in and supporting your boy. Always very nice to have some new people coming in. Very cool. Yeah. So I'm curious. The Spectre. Remind me, was that the title by Ostrander and Mandrake, or is that the one that came right before? Okay, that was the Mandrake one, right?
Yep.
With Ostrander. Okay. Yeah, because people have told me. I have friends who have told me, like, wow, it's such an amazing series. Like from start to finish, it was like what, 5 or 6 years long, and he said, like, I have like a good, really good friend of mine and multiple
62 issues, I think.
Yeah, right. Yeah, about 5 years. So, yeah, I've been told it's just fantastic, and I said, oh, interesting, because one of the guys that told me that, is it's like me. Like, there's a lot of characters that I like, but I like them visually. I like how they look, but it doesn't mean I necessarily have ever read them, And Spectre, up until the last few years, Spectre was one of those characters that I always loved for the look, but I had never really had a chance to really read. And in the 90s, I just didn't bother to pick up his series.
Right.
And, my friend was like, I'm the same. Right. My friend was like, oh, I'm the same. He looked cool, but that whole supernatural thing, I'm not really into it, but I read that series and it was awesome. So,
well, that first issue, being the cool, gimmicky, glow in the dark cover.
Yeah.
And then it was, kind of an origin issue. So, it's an awesome place to start for somebody who wasn't familiar with the character at all. At that point, I wasn't familiar with any Golden Age, basically, other than, Superman, Batman.
Right. Yeah, the biggies.
Aquaman, Wonder Woman, but didn't really even know they were considered Golden Age.
Right.
I just knew who they were.
Yeah, for sure. CJ wants to know, were you still into Hulk and Spidey at that time?
No, I didn't do anything mainstream. I just kind of started fresh. I don't know. Maybe I still had the smell of the burning Hulks in my nostrils, but I went all indie. I jumped on the Image bandwagon. Got a subscription to Wizard magazine. Did all the cool stuff that everybody did in the 90s.
Nick's Kicks and Comics. Thank you, sir. Was that you, by the way? Was that you, number 400? Because when I went live, we were at 398. So But if that was you, no, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man, and thank you for the congratulations. I appreciate it. Thank you. And you, Scott, another one of your friends has been pulled in from the comic side of the aisle. I'm assuming you're what's up, panel and chat, DJ Links. Thank you for coming in and supporting your boy. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And that's your comment, of course. Caesar, Spectre by Ostrander and Mandrake, great stories and art. Yeah, you've told me that, Caesar. You're one of the guys I was actually referring to. So, of all the people that have told me how great it is. So, one day, hopefully, I can, I don't know, find it in trade. Was it ever completely collected in trades? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure they're all out of print now.
The first 4 issues are in it's called Crimes and Punishment, is the trade paperback on the first 4 issues.
Okay.
I've never actually looked to see if there was an omnibus on it.
Okay. Thank you, DJ Links. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. I'll have to, at some point, I'll have to figure out a way to find them all and read them. Yeah. I look forward to it. Thank you, CJ, man. I appreciated you. Thank you so much. Okay, cool. So from there, because we got to get to the art, but how at that point, so now we're in the early 90s, jump us all the way to at what point do you suddenly discover original art, and like where and when was this?
I don't know. The next 7-8 years were really a blur.
Okay.
College, alcohol.
Okay.
You know,
you do, dude. You got a lot of blurs in your life. You know that, right?
I probably stopped and started several times.
Okay.
But in the late 90s, early 2000s, probably that's when I got back into it.
Okay.
Into comics in general. I actually got a Diamond account set up and started ordering direct.
What?
Yeah.
But you have to, like, I mean, to do that, you always have to have certain, I don't know, minimums or whatever, right? Okay. And you did that?
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean,
a lot of this shit behind me came from.
Okay. But did you order the way like a retailer would order? In other words, multiple copies of all the issues?
Of certain books. I ordered like, 1 or 2 of everything I wanted, and then I ordered shit that I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
And just if I was low on minimum order one week, every Sunday they had a discount sale.
Okay.
And I would just go through the discount and add in enough shit to get me up over the minimum order.
Oh wow. Holy shit. But you were doing it, if I'm understanding you were doing that. You got the account with Diamond just so you could get the discount, but it was still just so that you could read and collect.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
It had nothing to do with actually trying to retail them.
No, I had to tell them I was. I had to
tell
them.
Obviously. Yeah, obviously.
I had to tell them, and I was in the internet business. I was an internet service provider.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Back in the dial-up days. So
I
had banks of modems. Did dial-up internet web hosting.
Oh, so you're selling ISP service, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then that's when eBay first started.
Yeah. Okay.
So
sure.
that was my stick. I was reselling on eBay, and every once in a while I would list a book up just to, make it look like I was. Not that they would chat.
Yeah. For sure. Wow, that's wild, man. Okay.
But yeah, as long as I made that $250 minimum order or whatever it was.
Oh, was that all it was?
It wasn't crazy.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe it was $500 a month or something was the minimum order. It was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I guess
when the books were 40% off, then that's still a lot of books you had to get.
Oh yeah, for sure. Of course. Absolutely. DJ is telling you that you really live up to the Hoarders name. You have this is the first time you're seeing the Horde, DJ. That's funny. Caesar says, Scott, going above and beyond for collecting. What? How? By
Yeah.
by getting the account with Diamond so he could like get it at a much cheaper discount. It's funny because the idea is interesting, right? It's like you okay, maybe you get up to that minimum to maybe you get that 50% off, but bad like you really have to order a lot of shit and you're still spending a lot of money as a collector, being that
Yeah.
you're not a retailer, it's still a lot of money to spend for a collector, so it's like, wow, my God.
And I did end up finding a couple of, or the guy that worked for me was into comics, and he knew a couple other people that were. So I ended up finding a few people, that wanted maybe 15 books between them
okay,
to help offset a little of it.
a little bit, yeah,
Not much, but it just
no,
enough to
something,
keep it more interesting.
yeah, for sure. Hey, what is up, Jason at Comic Art Channel? Good to see you, sir. Okay, cool. So, but now, all right. So you did that.
eBay's how I found the art.
Okay, so on eBay is you suddenly see this, and did you know what it was? Like, were you aware of?
At that point, It never even dawned on me.
Ah, okay. A lot. I've heard that.
As soon as I saw it, like this light bulb went off. I'm like,
okay,
that's so fucking cool. You can buy original art, like
yeah.
And why it never crossed my mind before, I don't know, but
yeah. Don't feel bad. It's a story I've heard many times with art collectors. Like you're just like, I don't know. It was
don't think about it.
Yeah, right. It's not something you think about. I just bought them to read them, collect them, whatever, and I never thought about what went behind the process of making them.
And then when you stop to think about it, it's like, well, why didn't I think about it? I mean, it only makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And so what did you do? Did you just one day on eBay say, you know what, I'm going to bid on that piece and go for it? Okay. Do you remember what your first win was? No.
I got it narrowed down to maybe 2 or 3.
Oh, okay.
And
is it because those 2 or 3 came in around the same time?
Yeah, because they were around the same time, and I just remember they were the only ones I had framed at the time.
Oh, okay.
So and I think originally I thought I was going to frame every piece I got.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was only going to get a few.
I'll tell you.
I was only going to get a couple.
That's famous last words, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild. Okay.
So it was either my EXO Man of War page.
Okay.
Or it was one of the Spectre or the Showcase page. It was one of those 3.
Okay.
But I don't think it was a Showcase because I remember where I was at when I bought that, and that was later on. So
okay. Okay, cool.
So it was probably that EXO piece.
Okay. And you would estimate that was between what, like 99, 2001, something like that?
Yeah, good ballpark. Because my record keeping was shit back then. I had no clue when I bought anything or how much I paid for it. So
yeah, gotcha. Okay, and so after those first 3, did you do what you did with the like what you did with the comics, where you took breaks here and there, or did you sort of continue to buy art ever since then?
I continued. Sometimes I was heavy into it, and then I'd take a break.
Yeah.
Whereas I would, I took 100% break from comics several times in the last 20 years.
Yeah, for sure.
But the art, I always at least checked eBay to see what shit was selling for.
Right.
Maybe look and see if something jumped out at me.
Yeah.
But I also knew it. Your next piece is always with me, anyways. Is always a gateway piece.
Yeah.
If I stop, I should stop because I'm stopped. If I start, I started.
Do you know approximately how many pieces might be in your collection at this point?
Published over.
Yeah,
published probably almost 300.
Okay.
and then unpublished, or I guess, or classic art, another 100.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, hundreds. I mean, hey, Mikhail, good to see you, man. Yeah. I mean, hundreds. That's a lot. You know. Now, would you say though that the majority of your collection, like the bulk of the art, has it come to you? More like in the last 10 or 15 years, or has it kind of been pretty spread out throughout the last 20 or what have you?
It's right now. It's probably split.
Okay.
I'd say it's almost even.
Okay.
Um, probably half of it's probably half of it's within the last 2 years,
Okay.
and then the other half was probably
That's yeah. I was
20
because
years.
that was my next question. Was going to say, would you say that you're collecting a lot more these days than you ever have in the past?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah.
I got
Okay.
the bug again.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Mark, what's up, sir? Good morning to you as well. Good, of course, evening for me, but good to see you, man. Thank you for dropping in. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you get the bug. Sometimes it comes and goes, it comes and goes, whatever it is. But it never, as you know, it never seems to, even when it goes, it never seems to go away permanently, right? Yeah,
Right.
it's like it just kind of sits there and festers in the back of your mind a bit, and you go about your day, you do other stuff, and eventually it just sort of comes back to the forefront of the mind, right? And you're like, oh, time to get back in, kind of thing, right?
Right. Then you either find something you can't live without, or something that's just so cheap you can't pass it up.
Yeah,
Like,
for
yeah,
sure.
that page is only $25. Sure.
Yeah,
Why not buy it for $25?
yeah. I mean, I think a lot of us have been there with the same experiences. It's like yeah. Especially for me, especially in the early days, it was like that. It was like, oh man, you're seeing all this stuff. It's like, oh my god, I love it all. I love it all. And I like it. I'll bid on it. Like you, eBay. Oh, look at that one. Holy shit, I remember that one from the comic I read back when it came out. I'll buy that one, or I'll bid on it, or whatever. And it's like, yeah, eventually you try to kind of keep some kind of a control on it or whatever, because there's never enough money in the entire world to be able to afford everything you want. So that's the thing. But all right, cool. Everybody, you all set to look at some of Scott's collection? I hope so. And it's like I said in the description down below, it's what I call pretty eclectic. So yeah, why don't we jump in there, Scott, and take a look at the first piece. And it's not in. I don't think they're in any particular order. I don't. I certainly didn't place them that way. They may be in some kind of a alphabetical order or something. But yeah. Other than that, it's not like I put them in order for any particular reason. So, all right, everyone. Why don't we take a look at the first piece here? And I love this because I love the angle of this, the depth to this. Let's check this out. So, if this is from Brian Pulido's Lady Death, A Medieval Tale, number 5, page 2 by Fabrizio Fiorentino and Randy Emberlin from 2003. Cross-gen, I believe, right? I think it was cross-gen.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had got the license for a little bit of time. But yeah, I love that. That the camera being up so high and looking down, and it looks like it's so deep. Like, it makes you think, shit, if you fall off, if those 3 fall off that ledge, holy shit, it's a long way down,
Yeah. This piece was actually an AOK.
What does that mean?
It was for an act of kindness. AOK. Somebody sent me this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this was from. It's kind of a long story, but it
Okay.
came from Kavi.
Oh, nice. What's up, Kavi?
So it started off with George, Danger Room Comics.
Oh, George, yeah.
Had mentioned that I had just got the George Pratt piece, which we'll be looking at later.
Yep.
And he had said he'd never read Netsuki. So
Okay.
I said, well, I've got plenty of copies of it. I'll just send it to you. And he's over in Germany.
Oh, okay.
So I contacted a few other people and said, hey, I'm going to send these books over. do you guys have anything you want to, send over? So we put together this big AOK to send over to him.
Right.
And Kavi included a few extra things.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a game. He threw in 2 of these pieces and told me I could keep them or give them away or do whatever I wanted to with them. He just wanted to know what I did with them. So
Yeah.
I decided to keep this one, and then the other piece he sent, I auctioned off into Comics Curing Cancer last year.
Oh, very cool.
So
good for you, man.
That's where this came from.
Okay, very cool. That's a big up to Kavi. That's very cool. All right. The next one, I gotta say, all my live chat crew members, let me know if any of you have read this comic, because I hadn't heard of this next one until I was looking through Scott's collection, and then as I was seeking out the printed scans online, I suddenly got caught up in it, and I started reading it, and I didn't finish it, but I read some of it, and it's like, hey, it's pretty interesting. And I want to know if any of you are familiar with this, because if you're not, I say check it out. It's pretty cool. It's called Bunny Mask, and it's by Andrea Muti, and it's just from last year. So what do you got to tell me about this, Scott? Because I know you got a lot of art from Bunny Mask. So tell me a little bit about it.
When I got back into it, I actually got back into books a couple years ago because I had every intention of selling 90% of my books.
Okay.
That didn't happen. And I watched a review one night where some people were talking about this book, and they, were given kind of a synopsis of it and showed the first page where she gets her teeth chipped out by her dad, and like, man, I got to read this shit. And so I picked this title up and started reading it, and now I'm hooked on Moody's art. Once I read the book, I looked all over for contact for Moody, and finally found it and got a hold of him and started buying art from him.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Is that because had you finished reading it completely before you said, hey, I'm gonna start, I want to get some of this artwork, or were you in the middle of reading it and said, oh shit, I love this is cool, let me get some art?
Yeah, I mean, I was, the whole time I was reading that first issue, every page I was on, I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. I've got to have a piece of this.
Okay.
And
very cool.
I ended up with some.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say. I'm going to show you guys another piece from Bunny Mask. So this is going to be a prelim, according to Scott. So I wanted to ask you, Scott, before I show it, did Andrea say that he actually has finished inked pieces, and that's how you know this is the just the prelims, or is it that he did a prelim and then scanned it and went straight, like inked it digitally, or how did he work exactly?
Yeah, I asked him that specifically because I was just amazed at the process, but he does prelim and then he goes straight to ink and paint.
Okay, but digital or also on paper?
Also on paper.
Oh, okay. So this next one I'm going to show, there is an inked version on paper out there somewhere that exists. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Did he not have those versions anymore, the finished versions anymore, when you contacted him?
Of this, yes. He offered me the finished version of this.
Oh.
But it was bringing quite a premium based on just really? For the content.
Oh, a lot more? Okay.
It was a lot more than a standard piece. I mean, his standard pieces are expensive enough, but he had really? He had people fighting over this. Oh yeah, it's
the pencil, what he calls pencil prelims, that it's they're considered expensive, they're pricey.
Oh no, his prelims aren't depending on content, a couple $100 tops.
Okay.
Usually on prelims.
Okay, that's
which
fine.
is still expensive for a prelim.
For
basically.
prelim. Yeah. Are they? But are these prelims? Are they prelim size or are they large, regular size?
Yeah, they're his normal drawing size, which is not quite 11 by 17. It's a little smaller.
A little bit. Okay. Okay. All right. So, guys, take a look at this. I just love this just because it was a very a sensual, not erotic per se, but a sensual scene, and I just thought it was really lovely pencils. Here, take a look at this. So, Bunny Mask is all over this guy, and I mean, in the first couple of panels, kissing, and she's got that crazy, weird, long tongue of hers, like a lizard. But I was just really captivated by the third panel in particular. I just really loved the very natural, the natural pose. It's not stiff at all. The way she's pulling off her top that way. Yeah, and it just that the fact that he left it so that he's showing just a little bit of under boob. That's all. It's the whole idea of less is more. I really like the idea of sort of leaving more to the imagination, so it's not all just her completely nude. Yeah, I just I thought it was just really the storytelling is excellent here. I just really liked it, and the soft penciling is just really nice, and I was like, oh man, this is really cool. That's when I saw this page that it made me think, oh man, I should read this and see what the heck it's about, because it looks weird, crazy, but cool all at the same time, kind of thing, And no, not it.
I just I made a deal with him on several pages, and I said to send me all the pictures of all the prelims that you still have left.
Oh.
And this was a prelim that hadn't sold yet. So,
okay.
Because I tried my best to get the prelim for every finished piece that I got. And there was one or two that I wasn't able to, but there were also a couple available that I thought were good content and worth picking up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is it's lovely. I really like it. And guys, like I said, if you want something strange but also like it's weird, strange but cool, it's I'm gonna go, like I said, I didn't finish it, but I do want to go back. I intend to go back to finish it, because it really was interesting and piqued my curiosity. And yeah, so
there's actually kind of 3 volumes of it. There's there's volume 1, and then there's what they called Bunny Mask Tales, which was Free Comic Book Day.
All right, yeah.
And I was able to get that cover and complete story from him.
Ah, yes. Okay, yes. Those are the ones in your gallery. Check those out in Scott's gallery, everyone, which, of course, is linked down here below in the description. So, yeah, check those out. And I don't know, if you look through the Bunny Mask art, the rest of the Bunny Mask art in Scott's gallery, you might be like me. It might tempt you to want to look more into it and hunt down the comics. So,
that and his Maniac of New York. That's another one that's a pretty.
Maniac of New York.
Maniac of New York. That's another series that.
Okay.
That Moody.
By Moody. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Tat Comics. Do you know why you can't hear rabbits making love? No. Why don't you tell us all? I'd like to know. Showtime. Yes, Maki Poo Poo. Good to see you, sir. You're no bunny till some bunny loves you. Nice. I like the musical reference. Good stuff, Mark. Chuck Arnold. Good to see you, sir. Yes, they have very nice, tightly pencils. And like especially given the fact that, like Scott says, that apparently they're prelims. So yeah, very, very nice. And yeah, you see Tat Comics. Oh, they can't. Okay, because they have cotton balls. Okay, nice.
Yeah, when you look at some of the Moody art in the gallery, some of his prelims, his pencils are tight enough they look like finished work.
Yes, exactly. Oh yeah, you could an inker could definitely ink off of those pencils, easily. So.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hair-raising experience. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, good stuff, man. But yeah, I'm gonna, when I say I didn't finish, It was the first miniseries, so that's what I was working on, and I didn't get to the end of the 4th issue, so that's what I'm gonna eventually get back to, and then ultimately I'll seek everything else out. Any chance, by the way, that did you speak to him about whether that's going to continue? Are they planning on doing any more Bunny Mask?
Yeah, he's always pretty cryptic about stuff.
Okay.
He doesn't want to say too much, but yeah, he always stay tuned, big things coming. But I think every creator probably says that.
Well, yeah, you got to, right?
Yeah.
They got to keep you dangling the carrot, right?
Well, and then there's also the Aftershock fiasco that's still going on with them filing bankruptcy and and how that's going to play out. Yeah, that's Aftershock.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, let us move on to the next piece in your collection then, why don't we? And from there, we move back to the early 90s, to the time when you were first getting into this. And a really cool piece because it's by a classic penciler, inked by a classic penciler, doing the inking. It's wild. So check this out, everybody. I know you guys who are like around our age group and older will remember this most likely. Deathmate Prologue, page 8 by Barry Windsor Smith and the amazing Jim Lee on inks. Yeah, fabulous. What I just want to say is, Scott, that what I liked about this is I love it when, see, because you typically would expect like, oh shit, if I hear, oh God, Jim Lee inking Barry Smith, I'm like, I don't want to see that, right? It's going to look like Jim Lee and I want to see Barry Smith, right? But props to Jim Lee for having the respect, right? And I know he did it on purpose. He was like, oh God, we got Barry Windsor Smith to do something for us, right? Like, or I should say, I'm going to get to work with Barry Windsor Smith. Yeah, I'm going to ink him, basically like it's, to make it look like it's his work, not mine, So that's what I love about it. You did a great job with this, What can you tell me about this?
This is one of the few pages that I, did good on, let's say, from my 90s buying. Because God knows most of the Valiant shit I bought isn't worth anything now.
Oh, are you saying this? But this piece you didn't buy back then, though?
Yes, I did. I got it on eBay. And
okay, yeah. But that's okay. What I'm saying is not back when you were first getting into Valiant comics, because that's the early.
No. In the late 90s.
Right. Like a decade.
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Because and so 93 is when this came out. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was an eBay page, and I, back then I probably paid $500, maybe $600 for it. Maybe.
Oh wow, even back then.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's pricey, man. That's
but I wanted a piece for, and I really wasn't going to be picky. I wanted a piece from Deathmate, from the crossover.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And I like this one. I like Barry Windsor because I was a Conan fan.
Yeah, me too.
Wasn't necessarily a Jim Lee fan, but
right.
And it was 600 tops is what I paid for it back then. Maybe it was closer to 4. I don't know, but it's
yeah. No, but it gives us an idea, anyways.
Yeah, and this one is one that I never framed until this year or last year.
Oh wow!
It just sat in a binder.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, like Rick says, nice movement on this. Yeah, I love it.
And this is one of those ones that I put color in the in the frame.
In the presentation, did you?
Yeah.
Are we going to talk? Oh, and look at this. Look at your timing, Scott. Look who's here. Look who's here who just popped in just as you did. My guest for the last 2 weeks, Dino Mauricio. So you guys can gang up on me if you want now. That's okay. I can take it. But that's
funny.
That's so funny. But hey, Dino, good to see you, sir. But no, it's beautiful. And you did, obviously you showed me how it was framed, so I did look at the I got to see the color on it. Still wouldn't do it myself, but I will say at least it's not overwhelmingly colored, like some people do. So
it's got to be subtle. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah. Because then it's like I said, it sort of defeats the purpose. You're wanting to get people to look at the art, not the presentation, right? So
Yeah.
yes. Hey man, Dino, the touch of color man. Exactly. All right.
So and when I picked out the colors for that, I knew what colors were in the finished piece.
Oh yeah.
So I knew if I was framing the colored piece, what colors I would have used.
Yeah.
So that's just what I used on a black and white.
Yeah, sure. I mean, listen, it's not like I don't understand the theory behind it. Even like Dino mentioned last week, I've noticed that that's what a lot of collectors who put color on the undermat so that the color is framing the art. A lot of them tend to say, oh, okay, I'll just put a little bit of color. And what everybody tends to usually do is they pick the color of the prime. There you go. The red. There you go. You see, Marcus, of course.
Black and red and silver.
Yes, but at least you got the silver and the black. And I like the fact that the black is the inner color.
Yeah.
So rather than the red being the one closest to the art. So I can deal with that. Like if it's gonna have color, this is some of my, a good example of if I have to do it, it'll be like that. So good job, Scott. Good job. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like I've seen other guys, they frame a Hulk page, right? Like this is what Dino was saying. Oh, they frame a Hulk page, and it's like, okay, the undermat's like Kawasaki green or whatever, and other people they frame a Wolverine and they put red because they're thinking of Wolverine's blood with the claws. He slashes people, whatever. And I just think like I get it. It's not like I don't get it. It's just that the art is black and white. There is no color there to match up to. So better to not have color. But let's just talk about something else. And we all know where we all stand, so that's cool. Yes, DJ, I'm the approver this week at least. The Rickster says that the colored core mat with bevel cut is a nice touch. Look at that. You see? Yeah, you're getting a fan. So there you go. Yeah, no, that's a nice one. I like it. Okay, so guys, let's check out Scott's next piece. I don't even remember what it is. Ah, yes. Okay, the Neil Adams. Yeah. So I'm gonna toggle back and forth, guys, because I got two scans here. It's a 2-page advertisement. It's an advertisement, but it's a 2-page story, and you'll see in a second. And I'll toggle back and forth, and then Scott, you can tell us about a little bit about how you acquired it, where you may have acquired it, and what it means to you. There you go.
Well, I got this because this checks off a lot of boxes.
Right.
We've got cowboys and Indians. We've got advertisement. We've got
that's Native Americans to you.
We've got Disney. We've got Neil Adams. I mean, so that's a lot of check boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but you missed the only box that counts for me, my childhood check box of Fanta. I used to love Fanta when I was a kid.
I have drank a can or two or a bottle or two probably, but
yeah.
But I was watching one of the the Neil. I used to watch the Neil live shows on Instagram when he was still with us, and then one of the shows last year they pulled out the advertising piece. I think they pulled it out during the show. I know they had a couple of other of his advertising pieces from like the 50s. It was some bowling advertising piece, but But
yeah?
anyways, I contacted them after the show about this and made a deal with them, and then they sent me scans of all the other Apache, or all the other Fanta 2-page spreads they had. They had
They
four
had
more.
multiple ones.
Yeah, 4 more, all different themed.
Oh,
so
wow.
I've got they've got the like a futuristic time traveling spread that I'm making payments on right now.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then
but what's the product on it?
Same thing, Fanta. He did actually he had 4 total Fanta ads.
They're all Fanta. Okay.
They're all Fanta. One was like a Caribbean island scuba diving, the Tomorrowland, and I forget what the other one. Oh, the other one was maybe a mountain climbing theme.
Okay.
So, but I think they actually have the color workup on the Tomorrowland one I'm buying.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, there's another thing. I never thought I'd really have a Neil Adams piece. Now I'm going to have 4 pages.
Yeah.
That's fun, granted,
man.
it
is what it like. Who cares? Like, whatever. Like, it's fun.
But I like my Disney. I like my Disney.
Yeah, and exactly. You don't have a superhero, but whatever. Like, if you love Disney, that's awesome, right? Like, that's fun, man. Yeah, I like fun stuff.
Doesn't have Joker holding a playing card, but
yeah, exactly. Whatever, like, you really need that. Everybody needs to have that. I mean, whatever. It's different, very different. That's what I like about it too.
And I get a dinosaur on the next one, so that's
dinosaurs are always cool. Yeah, man. Yep. Everybody loves the
dinosaurs and dragons, and yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, very, very cool. Okay, and and Marcus wanted to mention that Fanta, giving the world diabetes one kid at a time. Love it.
And yes, they were all Disney.
Hey, Caesar. Yes, exactly. Yeah, all Disney too. Wow. That's wild. And were they all the same character, Scott?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So the only thing that changes among the 4 ad campaigns was the setting, basically. Then.
Right. Right. It's all the same theme. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
All mischief.
Drinking Fanta sure beats smoking peace pipe. Oh, that's racist, Mark. That's racist. Okay. It's funny though. No love for Miranda? What do you mean? Are you talking about Carmen Miranda? Carmen Miranda? Oh man, Mikhail, now you got to explain it to us. Dare to be different. Yeah, for sure. Cool. All right. So yeah, that was really fun. I really, really like that piece. So I'm glad I got
that Italian. If anybody out there ever finds that piece, the color ad in any other language, let me know.
Yeah. Reach out to him. Again, the link is down below, so you can see his calf and the rest of his collection.
Because I'd love to find that in English.
Okay. Oh, so you Mikhail, you mispronounced it at first, and it's Mirinda is a competitive soda. Really, I've never heard of it. That must be a very regional distribution type soda, then, right? I've never heard of that. Mirinda. Okay. And Marcus and Mikhail, you're both in the southern part of the states, so the West Coast. Maybe it's got southern distribution, but then again, Mark, you're at least right now overseas, so you're also aware of it. So Mirinda's a competitive soda. Yeah, I mean, okay, and Asia forward. Oh, it's from Mexico. Marcus is saying, okay, that's a Mexican one. Yeah, okay. So then I am right. It's got like limited distribution. It's probably not national. That makes sense. And look at that. Caesar's born and bred Southern Californian, and he's never even heard of it. So that's interesting. Yeah, it's got to be pretty regional. That's interesting. Mirinda had the same flavors, and it's sold in Asia. Interesting. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Always love the knowledge dropping. The little tidbits are always fun. Spain? Really? I'm going to ask my family about that. I mean, I haven't been there in 22 years or whatever, but I don't remember seeing any Mirinda. But okay. Not that I would have drunk. I'm not really big into soda anymore. I was when I was younger, but yeah, Rick also another West Coaster, but he hasn't heard of it. So yeah, let's assume that it's probably very regional. In Asia, in some parts of the southwestern United States, I guess, And next on Soda Wars, exactly. All right, so let us move on to the next. I love this one. Yeah, the next piece in the collection. It is the cover to Immortal Red Sonja from Nikki B's Dynamite Entertainment, the 10th issue of Immortal Red Sonja by Drew Moss from this very year. Literally a couple of months old, I believe.
And, yeah. It probably came out in January.
Yeah. That's what I love, if you don't mind me taking the mantle again real quick. I love not only the way she's twisting at the waist and looking backwards, the whole angle from where the camera is. I love that. But I also want to give a shout out. I don't know if it was Drew who came up with it, but whoever came up with the modified costume to where they still keep, an homage to the old metal bikini, but it's completely covering and only showing the midriff and the front of the forearms. I really love that because, as much as I'm a metal bikini Red Sonja fan and always have been, I got to say, with a young daughter, and as she got older, and she's only 13 and a half now, but as she got older, she suddenly started to notice, one day came up to me, Daddy, how come all the girls in comics, though, they all have these really, really, really big breasts, and it's like, how do you answer that to a girl, right? And I didn't want to lie to her, and I just kind of told her, honey, it's just most of the customers who buy comics are boys, and boys seem to like that a lot, I don't know what else to tell her. But so it's not like he's drawn her with like small breasts or whatever, but it's nice that it's an homage to the old bikini, but also very updated and very modern looking, and at least a little bit less, raunchy.
And as soon as I saw this in color and I saw the shorts, first thing that popped in my head was Laura Croft. I saw like a Tomb Raider vibe going on.
The Tomb Raider thing, yeah, exactly. I love the shorts too. The fact that it's short, the short shorts, and with the boots, and yeah, man. To me, I was just like, yeah, like this is really cool. I don't know how long she's been, drawn that way. And yes, my wife is telling me the truth will be the best. Yes, I know exactly. I don't know how long they've been drawing her with this costume, but I really dig it. And like I said, it really is. I don't know. I mean, let's face it. All these decades later, and the comics industry is still primarily boys and men. And I think if they would come up with cooler, fashionable designs for the female costumes, and don't sexualize it so much, I think you'd be able to bring in a lot more female readership. So that's
probably so.
Yeah.
But I saw somebody's channel, and they had a cover they were showing that they had bought from Drew, and I at the time had no idea who he was, but I reached out to the guy afterwards, and I said, "So who was this artist?" And where'd you get a hold of him at? He gave me his IG information, and I looked through his store, and I picked a few pages out of his store to buy, and I asked him for some better scans, and he sent me scans of everything I was interested in, plus a few more. And I think I told him I wanted everything but one of what he sent me.
Oh wow!
And, which wasn't a lot. It was 4. Maybe he sent me 5 scans, and I told him I wanted 4. It was like a cover and 3 pages, and I said I didn't want the other one. Well, he went ahead and sent the 5th one anyways. and just gave it to me for free.
Were they all covered?
No, that was one cover, one full splash that looked like a cover, and then 2 panel pages. And actually, I guess maybe another one was a splash with a couple of insets and then a couple of panels. But anyways, he sent me one of the pages for free, and ever since then, he messaged me when he got, that when Dynamite said, hey, we need this cover, we need that cover, and I think he's been giving me first dibs on everything since.
Oh, that's nice.
So,
yeah, I mean, artists. That's not. It's not like it's rare to hear that. I've heard that many times. Artists will do that, right? When they have somebody who's just sort of easy to deal with. You buy something, you buy it, you buy a bunch. Oh, okay. It's just so easier for them to do it, So that's very cool.
And I can't necessarily say I've always been a Red Sonja or Vampirella fan.
Oh, man. Okay.
But I've sure have a lot of their art now.
Their art now, yeah. Well, like Marcus is saying, way to hoard, Scott. You're living up to your name, so.
Yeah, I mean, he offered me he did the Red Sonja Black, White, and Red. He did a 8-page or 12-page story maybe inside, and he showed me those pieces before the story came out. And I just asked him how much for the whole story. So I made a deal with him, but I had to sit on him for 3 months before I could show anybody.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because it was that long until the book was going to be.
It wasn't out yet. Yeah.
Public. At least with some of the covers I get from him, the book solicited it far enough ahead of time I can show the cover off.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's right.
The cover, even though it doesn't come out for 3 months, everybody's seen the cover already.
That's right. Exactly. The covers are kosher, but it's the ixnay on the interior art. Yeah. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Because it's very seldom any of the interior gets published ahead of time.
No, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I mean, the only times would be on like when you go to like comic book resources or any number of those comic book websites, comic book news websites, right? And they show you a preview of a comic, and they'll show the first 4 pages of the comic,
right?
And that's about it, And
they actually did that with the Bunny Mask Free Comic Book Day. They published Moody's story, his artwork ahead of time in the preview.
Cool. Gotcha. And Mark, you're definitely right about Maze Agency and Miss Tree having female characters with appropriate body types, but there are more. I've seen more. I mean, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but that's the whole point, is that they're just so few and far between. And you think about this way. Let me remind everybody this. Remember Kitty Pryde, right? Like, I loved Kitty Pryde. I love the fact that she was a 13-year-old, right? I mean, and for years and years, and I mean, decades, really, she was drawn like, okay, she got older over time. They finally started to draw her more like in her late teens, but eventually, and they still used to draw her with, small-breasted. But then inevitably, at some point, I don't know when it happened or who was responsible, but somebody couldn't help themselves, and some artist decided, oh yeah, Kitty Pryde, just another female character in comics. Double D's for sure, And it's just such a piss off, because now that's how she's drawn all the time. And I don't know, it's just another one, and they're all the same, right? It's like, can you just have some real looking women for a change?
Right.
But, Mikhail, Jubilee. But haven't they sexed her up by now? I would think by now she must be sexed up with Double D's. I mean, I can't imagine they would have left those A-cups behind for this long. I don't know. Chuck Austin. Yeah, baby. Thank you, Mr. Easy Go Lucky. I appreciate that. Love and Rockets. Yeah, but it's not mainstream, right? Which is fine, Rick, right? It's just that I'm getting more because of the fact that it's more important. It's more important that the artists draw them realistically in mainstream comics, because those are the comics that most people get to see and read, right? So that's the thing, is that the average female, especially the average female, is never going to be exposed to Love and Rockets. They're going to be exposed to comic books that, you know, some male friend or other, you know, introduces them to, you know. So you know, it's typically going to be some superhero thing. And so it'd be nice to just be less sexist, you know. And look, I'm like everybody else. I'm like every other guy. When I was younger, of course, it's great to see every comic female character looking like, you know, voluptuous babe or whatever. But I don't know. It's cool, but there's enough of them. There should be a few that are left with realistic proportions that are not double D's and bigger, you know. So anyways, just my thoughts. I just had to get it off my chest, so to speak. No pun intended. Okay. So Jubilation Lee, the mutant Jubilee, the mutant vampire. So Jubilee from the X-Men is not Jubilation Lee, the mutant vampire. It's two different people. I don't know what you're talking about. Even as a mom, she's a skater girl. Oh man, you're really confusing me. Is Jubilee a mom now? Is that what you're saying? From the X-Men? I don't know. Wolfsbane. Okay, hopefully she's still normal. Showed up on time. Carlos, what's up? On time for a breast discussion. Yes, but it's very inclusive to females. That's the thing. So hopefully some females will watch this and give me some props. Power Girls flotation devices grow. That's nice. Grow every issue. Yes, exactly. It's called mutant puberty. Okay. Thank you, Mikhail. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. All right, everybody. We're getting off the topic. We're going to jump back on and look at some more of Scott's art here on the show and tell. What do we got next? So, yes. So we're going to jump from Red Sonja. We're going to jump to Gregland. This is a wild ride of a page. I just love the speed that's happening here. It's like, woohoo! You know, this is really cool. What story do you have behind this? Any story behind this, Scott?
A friend of mine on Instagram sent me a link to an art drop.
Okay.
It was an IG art drop, and
okay.
by the time I saw his message, it was kind of almost over. But I guess there weren't a lot of people doing a lot of buying, so I did a quick rewind and went through and picked out, I don't know, 3 or 4 pages that just kind of jumped out at me, this being one of them, obviously. The rest were all kind of macabre pages I got. Like, I think they all had decapitation going on in them. But anyways, this one, the layout struck me.
Right.
Totally off kilter from what the other pages were. But as soon as I saw it, you know, price point and composition were right up my alley. So I had them add it to my pile, so to speak. And
yeah, Murdoch is asking, wasn't this on 4C? I'm imagining that's probably where you got it, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah, no, it's fun. Yeah, I like in the second panel how huge the Hulk looks as he sits in the back seat, takes up the entire car space, basically, right? And a beautiful car too. That's what I love about the page more than anything.
That was the other thing that kind of drew it to me, because I've got a '73 Mustang, and I know that's not what this is, but when I see old cars, that's something that draws my attention.
Yeah. Ruppenstein is saying that Jeff Lemire doesn't know how to draw Daredevil. I know I think he means double D's.
Oh,
I'll take your word for it there, Ruppenstein. I've read a few Jeff Lemire things, but yes, I guess you're right on that. That is so funny. Marcus.
So
says
I'm not a Hulk fan anymore per se.
Okay.
I'm not.
What do you mean?
A Greg Land fan. I just It's the content. It's the layout. It's the art itself. It's not.
Okay, Marcus is saying that the 4C show that you bought this from, he said that it was a rough show because they were using a very low res camera to show the art.
It was terrible. It was
really
terrible.
that bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's terrible. So they were only showing the art to the camera rather than making slides like this?
Right. It was a live drop. They got a shipment of a couple hundred pages, I think, for him, maybe.
Okay.
and they were just dropping them in front of the camera one at a time for, 15 seconds or 30 seconds and going on.
Okay. Wow. Well, that's kind of sad. I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, you would think they would test.
But it was all priced reasonable. It was a good. It was a good sale. It was a good art. It just poor
Murdoch
for that particular.
Yeah, Murdoch says, love those guys, but they needed to do good scans, and he says he still picked up a couple of pages that night, so that's cool. Good for you, Murdoch. That's good. And Marcus says it was a big drop. Yeah. So what? It was was it one of those shows that went on for like 4 hours? Because I know those guys have done shows that lasted like 4 or 5 hours. I don't know who would watch that. That's crazy, man. But I
caught the last 20 minutes or half hours, so I don't know how long the whole show was. But
holy shit, Murdoch says it was a 250 something page art drop. Wow. Okay,
it was significant.
That's insanity.
And out of all that, I found 4 pages I wanted.
Yeah. Wow, you didn't do that much hoarding, Scott.
There were probably more. They were just, I didn't want to pay double page spread or, cover prices on stuff.
Yeah, I got you.
Especially for an artist, it's not really in my wheelhouse.
Oh, no, for sure. All right, so just let me take a minute.
Now, if it would have been a Spectre page, that may have been different.
I'm sure. I believe that. Before I get to the next piece, everybody, because it is another piece from Nicky B's Dynamite Entertainment, I just wanted to give him a little shout out, as always. Everybody, if you want to attend a weekly art selling show, by all means, you can check out Nicky B's The Original Art Experience. That's on youtube.com/theexp. That is every Friday. Here, let me actually show you. It is every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. There's the handsome gentleman himself, Nicky B, with Amy hidden behind the Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And fun show. Lasts about an hour and 10 minutes every now and then. And you get to claim. It's a claim show, so you get to the potential to buy some artwork. Oftentimes very lower priced art, so it's affordable for beginners as well as veterans. And every now and then he also offers higher end art. But it's primarily it's just a fun place to hang out with everybody. I'm in the chat every Friday of that show, and so are a lot of my friends that are here tonight in this chat. So check it out, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific on the EXP. All right, and I see you, Scott, are ready to show. You want to show everybody something on? You're showing it live. Okay,
I knew what you're getting to.
Yes, put that closer so we can see it. I want to see it like that. Let me see. Hold on, and let me also here. Let me play around with the layouts. Give me a second. Let me put you here. There we go. Okay.
Let me just.
Don't sneaky peek all the other ones. Showing your calf gallery now.
There we go.
Yeah, that's kick-ass. I love it, and I'm going to show the. That's another Drew.
I knew absolutely nothing about her.
Right.
This title, I knew nothing. He showed me this piece, and I said, "Yeah, I want it." It's just.
Yeah. I'll take it. I'll take it.
I got an Unknown Soldier vibe from it, with her face being wrapped up.
Exactly.
In the bandages.
Yeah. Me too. That's exactly what I thought the first time I saw it. I was like, oh wow, that's like very Unknown Soldier-ish, but with a female. I was like, oh wow,
right.
Got to figure out what that's all about,
Yeah.
And Jennifer Blood. Yeah, and TJ, you certainly wouldn't. I know that. Let me show the slide so that we can get the info on the screen.
Oh, and you got the color.
Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, exactly. And here we go, everybody. So that is Jennifer Blood presents Giulietta Romeo, and it's actually a foreign story that they, I guess, Nikki B licensed, and what it is actually, for those of you who, in case those of you, and if any of you in the audience are Shakespeare fans, this is actually a modern day retelling of The Tempest by Shakespeare. So that's what this is. And it's a Drew Moss cover, of course, that we're looking at. But as happens a lot with Dynamite titles, there's a ton of different covers to this. But the interiors, I don't remember the interior artist's name, but the interior. Oh, was it? No, Van Lent's the writer. I forget the first name. But anyways. But I thought it was very nice art inside, very fine line, detailed type style, and I just like I got caught up with the bunny mask. I got caught up and I started to read this, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty good. I'm really liking it." But of course, I didn't have time. I was getting, I was actually looking for the scans to put all your slides together,
right?
And so I couldn't continue reading it. But
I do have the book.
Yeah, oh, that's cool.
Like I always say it's an unwritten rule. If you own original art, you have to own the book it came from.
Yeah, right. A lot of people do that.
Yeah. So it's cool. Really going to suck when I get original art from Action Comics #1.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
But yeah, I mean, I own all these books, and I hate to say it, I haven't read any of them.
I know it happens. You're busy. You know, I get it. Believe me, I get it. But it's cool it's still fun to have. It's just to have it. You know. Do you have the art? Might as well have the comic kind of thing. So, no, beautiful. And like I said, guys, recommend picking up a copy. I didn't finish reading it, but what I did read up until I kept reading, it was really fun, and I do intend to go back and get it. And so I can finish.
Especially since it's a one shot, and you shouldn't have to. Yes,
that's another. Thanks for reminding me, Scott. Yes, everybody, it's a one shot. It's just a simple one and done book. So probably like a double size type issue, if I remember correctly, maybe 36 pages or something like that, or maybe 40 something. But come on, Marcus. Ruben reads all the big boob books. No, but I pound the table in demanding of smaller boobed women books. Oh, geez. Murdoch, Robert Carey. That's it. I couldn't think of his first name. The artist on Hit Woman. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, very interesting story and art. And I'm looking forward to getting my copy and finally finish reading it, because what I read was pretty fun. But love this cover. I mean, beautiful, beautiful anatomy. Very, very naturalistic. Looking a woman. The pose is very natural. I love the fact that he drew it as if you're looking through the camera lens, so you got all the
the depth,
right?
Yeah, the depth is what got me on this.
Yeah, and all the curvature of the crates. That's because you're looking through the lens, right? So, yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and sexy. And I love the. It's simple. Right? It's simple, but I love the fact that she's essentially dressed like, any normal, woman could be during the summertime, except just that one touch of having the unknown soldier styled bandages around the face,
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Like, it's not a mask, but it of course acts as a mask. It's really neat. I like it. Really, really cool. And Rick, what are you saying here? She would tie her bootlaces, but then she would have to put down one of her guns. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And also pounds the table. No damn color on frames. Thank you, CJ, for reminding everybody. They're all going to hate me now. Exotic. Yes, Maki Poo Poo. Yes. Curvy crates are hot. Exactly. Absolutely, man. Sorry to leave. Hey, no problem, Carl. Aloha again, and thank you very much. Mahalo, big mahalo always for coming by. I appreciate it. And enjoy it. Thank you very much, and we'll catch you hopefully next week. Take care, buddy. Okay, cool. So, beautiful Giulietta Romeo, Hit Woman, and I got to say, not only was Nikki B not here last week, but this week once again, I'm showing all this Dynamite art, and he's still not here. You owe me one.
Every show he does, I ask him if he's going to have any Drew Moss art, and he always says, "Oh, maybe next show, maybe next show."
Yeah, exactly. All right, let us get to one of your favorite, if not your absolute favorite characters, your first piece of Spectre art. Talk to me about this one, baby.
This was.
First of all, was it a book that you read or not read?
Yes, this was a book that I read. Okay. I got this direct from Daryl at Wizard World in Columbus, probably in 2003 or 2004. I picked up every piece of art he had that day that had Spectre on it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was a very expensive, very busy con for me. It was kind of the first I'd gone to with creators at it, and I hit,
really?
Yeah, I hit several. Other than that, it had only been smaller kind of book only cons. Oh, and and that's back when Wizard World was a thing, and it was the thing, other than San Diego, basically.
Right. Do you go to San Diego?
No, never been.
Never been. Okay. Wow.
No.
Wow. I always say, I mean, I haven't been there since 2005, but I always say, if you do like going to cons, every comic book fan, whether you're into art or comic, everybody should go at least once in their lives and just experience it one time. But yeah, you definitely have to have you got to save up a lot of money for that to make the trip worthwhile. Yeah, it's not cheap. It's not cheap to attend. Let's just say that,
Yeah, I really, I like Banks's art.
Yeah, this is it's really, really cool. And I always liked images of the Spectre when he's like super, super large like that, like, grown to that humongous size, and especially like when he holds other characters in his hands or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It just something about the character visually I've always loved, even though I've barely read him, yeah, I just love him. I always love to look at his stuff. And I went back to back here. We don't even have to come back to us. I can go directly to the next piece because it's from the same book. Yeah. This one, another really kick-ass page. And again, much larger than the heroes. And again, what I love here is that it's got Batman acting like a dickhead and you know what? I don't like when they portray him that way because it makes me hate him. I want to love Batman. And I find it hard to love, to even like him when they portray him as a dickhead. For those of you who can't read it, as I recall, what's happening here is Batman says, what the hell was that all about? And the Spectre says, well, you could just thank me, Batman. I mean, I did just save your life. And Batman proceeds to say, oh, I would have just saved myself, and again, just full of himself kind of thing, So I don't know. I don't know if those of you who are Batman fans, I don't know if you like this version of Batman, right? Where he's just always so full of himself. But I just wish they would tone that down. I'm not a big fan of that, but it's in moments like that I wish somebody else would sort of smack him around a little bit,
Yeah, I don't know if you can tell from the scan. All of the GLs are stats.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you want to put me back.
Yeah. Give me a second. Hold on. Yeah, Dwayne's a pain. Good to see you, sir. And by the way, Scott, Marcus is asking, was this still the Hal Jordan Spectre? Do we remember?
Yes. Oh no, this would have been
that
because Hal Jordan's in the panel, so this would have been.
Yeah, Derek knows his stuff. Derek says it's Hal Spectre.
Well, then who's GL?
Wouldn't this have been the time when Kyle Rayner was the only GL? You could be right, Dwayne's opinion. You could be right. But yeah, let's go and check this out. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, but okay, so it's not that it's stats, it's just that they digitally
No,
super.
no, they're stats. They're glued on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
So
see.
this,
Right. So
so
that's the original art, and they statted these extra images,
right, and then they glued them on
cut them out, and then glued them.
to
Interesting.
right. You can see
Okay.
their
Oh, okay.
so
But that doesn't look.
every GL face was
Oh,
redone
okay.
for whatever reason.
Right. That's interesting. Yeah, interesting story. I'm getting I'm getting 3 people backing me up. It would be Kyle. Yeah, Kyle Rayner as the Green Lantern. Yeah, thanks, boys. Appreciate it. Always appreciate that. Yeah. So yeah. So that means it is definitely Hal as the thing is. Uh, the thing is this is 2003. I thought I
Oh,
thought I
three, yeah.
thought I thought by 2003 that that Hal had already become. Oh no! Is it? It was Hal the Spectre all the way up until the Van Sciver Green Lantern Rebirth miniseries in 2004. Was that the first time he became? He that's how he is. That's why it's called Rebirth, I guess, because it's the first time he becomes Green Lantern again.
Green Lantern again.
I guess so, right? That would make sense. That's why it's called Rebirth. He's reborn as the Green Lantern. Yeah, I can always count on you. Thanks, Derek. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's why it's called Rebirth, right? So, okay. But here's the thing. That makes sense. But the thing is that what threw me off is that I'm a bit surprised. I guess I thought the way I was remembering it was that he had stopped being the Spectre for a little while, right? And he was gone for a while and then sort of showed up as, in Rebirth, right? And becomes Green Lantern again. That's what I was thinking. So I'm kind of surprised to see him in that series 2003 as the Spectre. I didn't realize he had kind of gone all the way straight as the Spectre and with very little time in between that to becoming Green Lantern again. So yes, now we are down the bunny mask hole. Exactly. Okay, excellent. All right. So let us get on to the next piece, guys. From here, we're going to stick with DC, but we're going to go back to the late 70s, I believe. And this Ross Andru and Tony DeZuniga piece of Jonah Hex art from number 57. I especially love I love the Zuniga's work, but I especially love the panel in the last panel. I love that headshot in the last panel. I just think it's just stunningly beautiful.
Yeah, the shadowing.
Yeah, it's just.
I like that. I like the panel above it because it's got guns going on.
You like the guns, right? Yeah, that's cool.
I found this on CAF. I just did a search for Jonah Hex.
Oh, and somebody just had it on sale?
And it was there. And then he had a couple other pages. So, and then that D Zuniga pinup actually came from the same guy.
Okay, yeah.
So I just bought everything Jonah Hex he had.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's coming up in a moment, everybody. Good old Tony, man. I miss that guy's work. Yeah, Caesar. I was waiting to see if you were still here. I know you would appreciate it. Yeah, really, really cool. And yeah, check this one out, guys. This reminds me of. I remember how much I was just amazed at how great Tony was towards the end of his life, in the last few years of his life. Not many artists who lived, into their 70s or later, tend to be stronger towards the end than they ever were before. But boy, when he was doing commissions for people, wow, it was mind-blowing illustration. The quality level was like HNL, Ho, Naba, Lebo. Check this one out. Look at this. I mean, that's just I don't even know what to say, man. That is just 2007. just stunning, simply stunning. It reminds me of some of the art I've seen in Europe. A lot of the European artists. Oh my God, it's just absolutely stunning, gorgeous work here. Of course, I don't have a color version because this is not a published piece. But yeah, the color would just ruin it anyways. So
and this one was this had some water damage to it, so I got this one for next to nothing.
Oh,
and
wow.
I just bought it, a few months ago.
Oh,
and
okay.
and it had some pretty bad water damage. But fortunately, I have a large press sitting here beside me.
Yeah.
And
you pressed it out.
I pressed it out. It looks like new.
Oh, fantastic! Good for you.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So
man.
I think he let me have this for $150.
Wow, $150. Holy crap. Wow, that's a bargain. Wow. Yeah, Caesar, exactly what I'm saying. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I not even maintained. I think in a lot of places it was better than it had ever been. Like I thought he was improving, Yeah, Mikhail, exactly. Absolutely astounding. Yeah. I miss his work so much. Very sad that when he passed. But yeah, beautiful. Wow. This is one of the bargains of your collection, by the way, Scott.
Yeah, I would agree.
That money, like bang for your buck. This has got to be one of the best ones. I mean, that's a lot of just high level artistry for the pathetic little price that you had to pay to get it.
Yeah.
Exactly, CJ. Don't need no stinking color. Mr. Easy Go Lucky. Exactly. Have a good dinner. I appreciate you as always. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hopefully see you again next week. Take care, man. Yeah, really, phenomenal. I mean, I don't know what else to say. When I saw it, I was like, oh, wow, killer piece. I was never really a collector of commissions, but over the years, there were some pieces where I would say, man, you know what? I should have gotten at least one commission piece from this guy or that guy. And Tony was one of those. Tony was always one that I was just amazed at the quality of work that he would put out. And I was like, man, I kept thinking, oh, but he's doing them all the time. And so you do what a lot of people do, you put it off. You keep putting it off, right? Thinking, oh, I can always get him at some point. I'll get him later. And then ultimately, suddenly he's sick and, ultimately passed away, unfortunately, But he was also a very nice man and enjoyed talking to fans. Yeah, I heard the same thing, Caesar. I never met him. Yeah, I never got the chance to meet him, unfortunately. As a fan of all the Filipino artists, I wish I'd got to meet all of those guys, and I never got my chance. So I'm happy you did. Good to hear that you did, because by all accounts that I've heard is that he was very, very, very nice to the fans.
And I just double checked. It was 115 shipped.
115 shipped.
Yeah.
Just pound in the add insult to my injury of like, oh, my jealousy, That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, exactly. We don't need color. Just add color to the frame.
I might do that just for spite now.
Just for spite, exactly. Well, you can always do it. You would never want to annoy me, you know what to do, Scott.
But yeah, Jonah Hex is another one of those characters that I didn't. My third stint into collecting, when I got the account with Diamond, that's when the Jonah Hex, like Two Guns West, Riders of the Worm, all those minis were coming out. So I started picking them up.
Right.
And really liked the artwork. I love Truman artwork, and liked the character. So that's when I got on to Hex, and then started picking up all the old stuff, the older books, and trying to get some of the older artwork.
Did you buy them more like to collect and hoard them, or did you actually read them?
A combination.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So some I read. I tried to read all the Spectre I bought, all the
Right.
Jonah Hex I bought. Then it got to the point where some of it was just for collecting.
Right.
Or you try and fill the run, but then you don't have time to read the run.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just
I
fill.
get you. I get you. I totally get it, because I remember one of the things, you know, it was for me. So when I was in my, you know, I started reading and collecting only when I was 12, and it was only when I was 16 that I really started to be able to have money, because of, you know, part-time work and whatnot, to start adding a lot of titles every week, you know, or every month. And I will blame that, though. It's funny because it's a good thing and a bad thing. In a good way was that here I was, but particularly when I hit like 18, and I was collecting like 80 titles a month, and I felt so good, right? Because it was like, oh, finally, I can afford every title I want to. But I also, in retrospect, blame that, the ability to afford them all. I blame that for my ultimately sort of falling out of love with reading the comics, because it got to the point where, you know, when you're buying 80 titles a month, you're averaging 20 books per week. And it got to the point
Right.
where, like, I had other interests, right? And I was into sports and you know, hanging out with friends, whatever, all that stuff. And it was like, it was so easy to just not read comics for a week because I was busy with other things. But you know, when you're skipping a week of books, and then the next week's books come up, you got another 20. Suddenly you got 40 issues to read. It's like, okay, where am I going to find, right? Like the 20 hours or whatever the hell it's going to take for me to read this shit, right? And from that point onward, reading became sort of a thing where I was just like plowing through the books so quickly just to get through them that I was no longer enjoying a lot of them, you know? And
Right.
it's kind of like my downfall with the love of reading comics happened then, you know, because of that. So it's great to have a lot, but then at the same time, I can't sort of enjoy it because it's too much kind of thing, you know? And like what you said, Scott, you start buying back issues, right? Started buying back issues. Most of the back issues when I was trying to fill runs, I never got to read. Because who has the time, you know? So it just became stuff to put in the collection, but not read a lot of it, you know? So 80s titles. Who's the hoarder here? Chicks dig the size of your collection. Yeah. Back in those days, not too many chicks dig the collections, as you very well know, CJ. Reading is fundamental. It absolutely is. And what I wanted to see here. Also, CJ said, also, Scott takes photos of art, not scans. Exactly. Make Ruben happy. Thank you, CJ. You're such a shit disturber. You're too funny. Yeah, exactly, Marcus. It really was. You know, it was like the best of both worlds, but at the same time, it really wasn't. You know, I couldn't resist at that point, right? Not now that I could afford it, I couldn't resist buying as much as I could, but then it made me kind of really not like the reading aspect. I was literally reading just to get through it. I was blowing through the comics so quickly that, no joke, sometimes from panel to panel, I wouldn't even remember what I had just finished reading in the previous panel, and certainly page to page, I was lost. I was reading it just to say, well, I paid for them, I got to read them, you know. Yeah, and I couldn't remember what the hell I was reading, and kind of ruined it for me, you know. And Mark says that the 90s, that's when my career took off and the quality of comics went down. A win-win. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, let us take a look here at the next piece, because that's one more piece of Jonah Hex art. I wanted to show this one only because it's a more modern one from that era that you spoke about, Scott. And because I'm a fan of Tim Truman myself, and I figured I'd show the page. And it was one panel in particular that really pulled me in. And I'm sure you'll know which one it is when I show it. Any guesses, everyone? Yeah, I mean, I wanted to also say that I am a much bigger fan of Tim Truman's own inking, and I do,
Yeah.
but I realize that Sam Glanzman was kind of like one of Tim Truman's heroes, and so for him it was more of a fun thing to be able to work with have Sam ink him. So I get that, but yeah, I much preferred the inking that he would do on of himself. However, having said that, on this page, I felt like, okay, this is one of the few pages that I felt was tighter and really felt a lot more like Truman's own stuff. And exactly, CJ, and exactly Rick. No, Rick, you're wrong because it's 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, 4, 5. Yes, that's sorry. Yeah, you're right. Exactly, you're both right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's this. Yeah, that second to last panel is just beautiful. But is there
I'm
any?
sure that drew me to the page too. But
Yeah,
when I would have bought this, it was as long as Jonah was in it anywhere.
yeah,
The fact that there's a quality panel in it made it even better.
yeah. No, I get you. Yeah. I mean, listen, if you're a Jonah fan, you want Jonah on the page, anyways, right? So you got him there in 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5 panels, including the silhouette. So yeah, just really a lot of fun. And as a Jonah Hex fan and a Truman fan, I wanted to show this one too. So very fun. And another one of your buddies has just popped in. Collectibles to astonish here for Scott. Hey.
Jonathan.
I thank you, Collectibles. I appreciate you coming in to support your buddy. Thank you very much. That's very cool of you. Excellent. So why don't we move this one here and go on to the next one? Oh, guys. Okay, so I don't know how many of you, watching our Spectre fans like Scott is. Again, I admit, haven't read a lot of Spectre, but visually, I'm a visual person. I love the Spectre for visuals alone, and boy, I love this. So as soon as I saw this, I really wanted to show it off. So here we go. It's a splash page by Michael Zulli and Vincent Locke. What a great combination. I mean, it captures the whole spooky, mystical, scary aspects of the character all in one place, Yeah, for me,
Other than I love this page, I remember very little about its acquisition.
Oh, really?
I'm sure it was eBay.
Okay.
But again, my record keeping was shit, and I remember being pumped when I got it. That's about the extent of it. It was, and again, it's another one. It's 98% of these just sat in binders for years.
Oh wow! I am not Marcus.
Yeah.
I don't know why you said that. What's a royal pedigree? What did we just showed the? What's the royal pedigree, Mikhail? We were just looking at the Vincent Locke inked Michael Zulli page. Sorry, that's this one. But then before that, the Jonah page. What's royal pedigree? Making me always throwing confusing things out. Drapes. You like drapes? Or you just like to know if the curtains match?
Drapes are aesthetically, if they're drawn right, are awesome.
Hey, look! Even my wife is like, "Wow, nice page." If you can impress her with a page, that's saying something.
But yeah, this isn't probably my top. This is in my top 5 Spectre pages, I think.
Oh, that's cool. It should be. Yeah, it's one of my favorites too. Yeah. That's it's phenomenal. Why are you asking if that's Sandman? Oh, because Zulli and Vincent Locke did Sandman? Was that why? Okay, I'm going to assume that that's what you meant. Oh,
yeah. every
right,
time somebody would draw a Spectre that wasn't, to me, traditional Spectre was from the Ostrander Mandrake run.
Yeah.
So when somebody else would do it and it looked a little different than what I was used to, I'd have to look at it and decide if it was my Spectre. And
yeah.
But this is one that the page was cool enough. I just knew, it was something I wanted.
No, hey, listen, like if I had, to me, this is one of those things where, I don't particularly focus on Spectre art by any means, but had I seen this, on randomly on eBay, I would have bid on it just because I love the visuals of the Spectre, and that's a damn cool kick-ass looking Spectre. I mean, wow. I love it.
I was trying to think the other day, on how much I spent on art over the years.
Good one, Rick.
I was thinking probably at least half the art I have is $200 or less.
Wow, really?
And then probably 25% is between 2 and 4.
Wow, that's great.
And then 25% is, let's not talk about.
Yeah. Well, I hope everybody watching heard that, particularly newer collectors, because a lot of newer collectors come in and, they complain about how expensive everything is. But of course, that's because usually they focus on, the most popular characters, and, they're shocked. Well, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Batman, what have you, X-Men, But yeah, and if you're able to broaden your horizons in terms of your interest in different characters, teams, and whatnot, there's still a lot of art that could be had for affordable prices. Even
that
today.
Greg Land art the other day, every piece was under 200 except for the one you showed.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even by today's standards. And Mark Fong, my friend, I got to put this up. I've been waiting to put this up here. Mark says, I like today's diversity of pages, not monopolized by Marvel. Thank you, sir. And thanks, of course, to Scott. But I do want to take some credit for that, Mark, because in most show and tells, it has been the friend who I asked to come on who has chosen the pieces. There have been a few for which I have done the choosing, and in this case, I did the choosing. And so I'm glad to see that you appreciate it, man. I'm glad. Yeah, I thought that Scott's collection was, again, eclectic. I found it eclectic, and I thought, this is kind of interesting because I do want to show. I want to expose the viewing audience to different stuff that, a lot of us who grew up on the mainstream superheroes, especially Marvel, we weren't exposed to a lot of the non-Marvel superhero stuff, and I like to expose people to that type of stuff as much as I can as well every now and then, So,
and I have very little Marvel.
And he has little, yeah, right. He has little. I couldn't have chosen much if I wanted to, anyways. Exactly. But even from within the selection that I chose, like I said, the whole bunny mask stuff. Most people wouldn't bother. They'd be like, "What is this shit?" But I'm like, "Nah, man. It looks interesting, intriguing. I want to, I wanted to show some of this stuff." So, like I said, eclectic, and man, I'm really digging it so far, and I hope the viewers are too. Certainly, Mark is. So, I'm glad you like it, Mark. Thank you for mentioning it.
And I'm not sure what he means by discipline.
Yeah,
my discipline is no willpower. So,
I have to say the same thing, Mark. I don't know what you mean by discipline. Scott's admitted pretty much the opposite. Like, tell me what you mean by what discipline you think he has, because he'll buy whatever he sees if he likes it, pretty much, and he hoards it. So
it's
the choosers occasionally, Marcus. Occasionally, like to mix it up a bit, So budget. His budget discipline. That's what he means. The budget discipline.
Well, 20 years ago, that's because I had a girlfriend. I'd have a lot better collection if it wasn't for that.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people could probably say that.
Yeah,
Marcus
yeah,
says, Marcus says you had the discipline to hoard.
that too.
Awesome.
Never sold a piece of art in my life.
Oh wow, are you serious?
Yeah, I've given a couple away. You know,
Oh, no, yeah,
AOKs,
that doesn't count. That
gifts,
doesn't
but
count.
yeah, no, I've never sold a
Wow,
piece of art,
wow,
and
wow.
I've
That's
sold
wild.
very few comics.
Wow, even the comics.
Yeah,
Very
very
few.
few. That's the definition of a hoarder, I guess. You
Really?
know.
Yeah, yeah. I know collectibles to astonish. His channel is called Hoarders Hide. I get it. I get it. Linked down below, everybody. You can check it out down below. But yeah, no, that's cool. Hey, whatever, man. Whatever floats your boat, you know. If it makes you happy, Cheryl Crowett. All right, everybody, let's move on to the next one. Oh, this is the one that I know Scott's really, really proud of. And yeah, this is not a polished piece, it's a commission, but you'll have to tell me if you I think you commissioned it. Here, let's check this one out, everyone. Check this out.
I did
Yeah.
not commission it.
You did not. Okay.
No,
Okay.
I bought that on eBay.
Oh, on eBay. Okay. Wow. But yeah, I love it. I mean, I'm a fan of 30s, 40s, and 50s and 60s Hollywood films, and that includes a lot of the Marilyn Monroe films. And so, of course, there's a classic scene out of the Marilyn Monroe 7-Year Itch movie, and yeah, just really cool to see, an interesting idea for a piece. It makes me wonder now if it was Linsner who had thought it up, or if it was a commission that he had did for somebody else requested.
Yeah, it was a request by the guy I bought it from. He sent me a picture of him and Joe together.
Oh,
Joe
really?
giving him the picture. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So he commissioned it.
Okay. Yeah. CJ and Marcus want to remind you that you don't sell because you burn them for heat.
And Rick, there were no Jordan rookies, but I did burn several Bird and Magic rookies. So
Did you?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was back when they were the 3-part cards, and you could tear them apart. And I had bags full of them. And I burned them all. Again, I don't know why.
Okay.
I didn't want them anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
If we only knew.
If there was a view from below the grating, we'd see the crack of dawn.
Somebody had to say it.
Oh, that's awesome, Mark. That is so awesome. And I'm you see, once again, I don't know, you must be at work again, but yet somehow you're able to hang in there and watch quite a lot today. So I appreciate that, man. It was worth it just for that joke. Awesome. That is awesome. Marcus, what do you mean it looks like she's staring back at you? Oh. And then you got Rickster, who's laughing out loud. Maybe he's getting your joke, but I'm not. Okay. Fascinating video on... yeah, Marcus wants to ask you, wouldn't fireworks be better to burn?
I probably had Roman candle fights at the same time.
And Maki Poo Poo, which video on YouTube is fascinating? Are you talking about Scott's channel, or are you talking about, is there a video for this piece of art, or what you talking
This was
about?
one of my first live videos I did. And here's a frame piece.
Yeah, here, let me get the...
But this was one of the first live unboxings I did on YouTube.
okay.
So,
You mean like when you received it?
yeah, when I got this back from the frame shop. No, or maybe when it came in.
Oh, so okay, that's the video that Maki Poo Poo is referring to. He just said that he's talking about your video. Yeah.
Yes, and I had a couple people hop on live. But yeah, so that was my framing choice on this one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that because this is a painting. It's got color, so I'm good.
Got it.
I'm not as excited about the actual frame color, but I like the matting. Let me see it again, if you don't mind, Scott. Let me take one more. Like it's not terrible or anything, but I don't know. I'm a little bit questionable.
Well, see, I went with the frame because if you see, we've got this
Yeah,
purple
the pink.
shadow
Yeah,
coming through.
yeah.
That's right in the center. So that's
No, I get that. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's nice.
Then
I like it. I like it.
I spend more time in the frame shop picking out frames and than I care to admit, probably.
Hey, believe me, everything I've ever framed, I was at the shop no less than 2 hours. Mind you, that a lot of it has to do with I like working with my framer, right? It's like a team up. We combine,
Right.
To come up with a solution, and framing is a work of art in and of itself, right? It's an art. There's an art to framing and getting the right presentation. So
it sure can be.
Yeah. So CJ says, "Hey Scott, ever go to the Kahiki as a kid?"
Don't know what that is, so no.
Yeah, you guys are always throwing things that go over our heads. I don't know what is that. Is that supposed to be something you visited in Ohio, CJ, or what's the deal with it? What's the dealio? Okay, violet matches the shadow. There we go. Yeah, is that? I know it does, but I wonder if you're trying to make one of those, carpet matching the drapes jokes, because I have a feeling you are. As long as there's no damn color. Oh man, no, people are not going to let me live that down. It sounds like. Okay, but very, very cool. Very nice piece, Scott. Is that one of your favorites?
It's like picking one of your favorite kids.
Yeah,
I don't.
It's tough, right? You like a lot of them.
It's not. I like it, but it's not even my favorite Linsner.
Oh right! Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
But, I mean, I'm attached to it, but I frame all my color pieces. I frame everything that's either mixed media or oil or pastel, which all my Linsners are.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. CJ wants you to know that, it's what I guessed. I guessed correctly that it was a huge, famous 60s Tiki Polynesian restaurant in Columbus, torn down a few years ago. Yeah. Don't forget, though, CJ, he's 80 miles from Columbus. So.
And I wasn't born until 73. So.
There you go.
Yeah.
But if you care, CJ, here in Montreal, downtown, in the 70s, I was a little kid, and on weekends, my parents being immigrants from Spain, there wasn't a lot of Spanish immigration from Spain. So, of course, anytime they found other Spaniards in the city, right, they would become friends. And on weekends, they would go to these Spanish, what they call clubs. It's like a bar, I guess, a bar dance club type thing for people from Spain. And on our way home, because they would have to drag us kids along too. They couldn't leave us home. And which is pretty wild when you think about it, because I was like in single digit ages and we were in a place that served alcohol. So, but whatever, maybe it was allowed back then, or maybe they just skirted the rules, and who knows. But on our way home from there every weekend, there was a place that we had, which was also like a Tiki Polynesian type place called Kon Tiki, KON -TIKI. I guess those were popular in the 70s. I guess every city, probably every bigger city probably had one. Mark wants everybody to know that back in the late 80s, he reframed some pieces and he switched all the colored boards to black on black. So you got rid of the colored. But what do you mean by black on black, though? I mean, are you talking about black and white, so pen and ink pieces, or what? Because what do you mean by you wouldn't be double matting, right? You wouldn't be double matting with two black mats, would you? I don't know. Let me know. That's interesting. But you got rid of the color. I'm assuming because you felt the color was distracting. Is that correct, Mark? Let me know that. Let me know that. I'm just guessing. Just a wild guess. I don't know. Let me know. I was the bar crawler when I was like 7 years old. That's wild. But okay. All right. Let's go on to the next piece, everybody. And, yes. So, Here we go, everybody, all you mutant fans, all you Marvel fans, X-Men fans, you've been waiting. Here, your one opportunity to finally be here and see something you like. Check this out. A killer Magneto piece from Magneto #0, page 30 and 31. It is a double page pinup. It's not part of the story, so I won't call it a double page splash, but it's a double page pinup. So it's a pinup after the main story. At the back of the book, there was a bunch of pinups. And this is, Jan Duursema and Christopher Ivy. Really kick-ass, cool, gigantic Magneto piece, man. What do you? Any stories behind this?
Yeah, this is actually a kind of a cool story. Again, this is at Wizard Con where I got the Darryl Banks art. When I got to the convention, I was just looking for anybody that had art because I knew what I wanted, but I really didn't know the artist. I didn't know who was who, other than I knew Mandrake and Spectre.
Oh, that
so as I come up to this table, that's Jan's table, and I'm looking through art, and she starts making conversation with me. I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for and I had just seen a Valiant page, and I'm like, okay. Oh yeah, I'm here I want to buy Valiant art. So I start flipping through her stuff, and I come across some nice double page spreads or splashes or pinups or whatever. So I'm pulling all this art out to buy, and she's making me a deal. And I said, do you have any Spectre art? Have you ever worked on Spectre? And she says, no, but my husband has. I think, oh, really? Is he here? And she said, yeah, he's inside. Right. Because she was in like an outside kind of vestibule area. I said, oh, that's cool. What's his name? And she said, Tom Mandrake. Like, oh.
You're like, what? Oh, my God.
Yeah. Sadly, Tom had very little Spectre art with him, though.
Oh, okay.
He did have a couple pieces, but not much.
And did you pick any up, though?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah,
well, at least that,
But yeah, I talked to Jan for probably at least 15 minutes, after we made our deal, and she cut me a deal on all these. Again, this was 90, late or mid 90s, 94, 5 maybe. Actually, probably later than that, probably 98.
Okay. Collectibles to Astonish never knew that you had this piece.
That's odd. I just expected he would have seen this one.
Okay. Has he been to your place?
No. I show him stuff I pick up all the time, though.
Oh yeah. Well, there's always stuff that's bound to slip through the cracks without realizing it,
Yeah, but no, this is just a piece that's always stood out to me. And it's probably, I don't know if it's my most viewed on CAF, but it's definitely the one that I get the most unsolicited offers for.
Oh, I'm sure. Do you tend to get inquiries or actual offers? Do you actually get people who tell you what they want to pay for it?
Most of them are inquiries, but my typical response is, it's not for sale, but everything's got a price.
Right, exactly. Yeah. The onus is on you to tell me what you want to pay for it, and then I'll let you know if I'll sell it, right?
If someone's dumb enough to offer me $10,000 for that page, I'm smart enough to take it.
Yeah, I get you.
But I get you. But it's not actively for sale.
Yeah, and honestly, these days, I mean, if that thing was at Heritage, it might go, not too far from 10 grand. You don't know. Like it's right. So yeah, for sure, man. I get you totally. I wanted to little quick segue, everybody. Sorry, Dwayne's a pain. Off topic. It's been bugging me. Is that a Regal Beagle shirt? Catching glimpses. I just have to do this for you, sir. Yes, sir. The Regal Beagle. It's here. Let me get a little closer. Santa Monica, California. Established 1977. Yes, it is, my friend. It is my favorite sitcom of all time. I grew up with it as a kid. Yeah, that's right, Rickster. You got it, baby. Three's Company. Yeah, literally favorite. I grew up with it. I watched the entire series just on when it was live being broadcast, and then on repeats altogether. I always estimated that, like, by the early 90s, I estimated I had watched the entire series like 4 times. And then when they started releasing the entire series on DVD, I bought them all, and I was hoping that I was like, oh, I must have missed some at some point, and I was hoping there'd be some brand new episodes I'd never seen before. But shockingly enough, I really was that much of a fan, and I had watched the entire series at least 4 times, and not a single episode was new to me when I watched them on DVD. So there you go. But love it. Come and knock on our door. Absolutely. You know what, Marcus? For as a youngster, and I got a really young start. I will admit to you. Probably shouldn't admit to this on camera, but I got a young start. Like I was very aware of sexuality when I was like 7. Yeah. So from that perspective, I was all over Chrissy. So I'll say Chrissy for that. But in the whole scheme of the entire series, I will say Janet. Janet was the glue that held the show together. Ultimately, she's the secret sauce, if you will. And yeah, it was a very sexualized show. I get it, but if those of you who watched it, all of it or most of it, you'll remember there were a lot of episodes that were also kind of like taking on serious topics. And if you watch the whole thing throughout the entire series, you'll know that Janet, the relationship, the friendship that her and Jack had together, it was really, really special. So yeah, just as a person, right, the whole person, I will have to say Janet. But in terms of just looks, I was all over Chrissy. Yeah. So sue me. What about you, Marcus? Let me know. I by the way, I didn't care for any of the replacements. Terry was cute. Terry was cute. I liked how she acted, but I didn't find her or what's her face, Jenny Lee Harrison. I didn't find them like hot. So yeah. There you go. And love Three's Company. Okay, excellent. I'm glad to hear it. Let's see. I need to go on Wheel of Fortune. Let me see. Sorry. Okay, that's one show they couldn't do today. Yeah, pretty much, exactly. Let's see. Cindy, right. Jenny Lee Harrison, Cindy. Yeah, I was not into her. I mean, acting, yeah, it was fine. She was okay, whatever. But then Terry, but in terms of just physicality, the looks, I didn't find her or Terry particularly like hot, if you will. Like they're okay, whatever. But yeah, that's about it. Terry the nurse, exactly, Caesar. Dwayne Zepane says I was into Mrs. Roper. Caesar, actually, you had a crush on her. I will admit, I did have a crush on her at a certain point. At a certain point, she did something to the hair, got that punky hairdo, and she was really, really, with the tight sort of Jordache jeans, whatever. She was really, really cute. Yeah, but I wouldn't say hot, but cute. Yeah, and me too, Mark. Miss John Ritter so much. If anybody wants to catch a really fun show, what is it? 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughters. It was known as 8 Simple Rules. The first sort of sitcom he had since he had finished with Three's Company. If you track that down, it was really a lot of fun, and it was the first appearance. One of his daughters was what's her name? Penny from The Big Bang Theory. So
did not know that.
Yeah. When she was like 19 or something like that. Yeah, very young. Greedy Gretchen. Love Greedy Gretchen. Exactly. I I call when people are greedy. When in particular, my wife. I sometimes have called her Greedy Gretchen. That's funny. I did watch it. I have it actually. I loved it just because the characters or whatever, but it wasn't great or anything. Mark Fong, we love Real Men with Ritter and Belushi. I never saw that actually. Hooperman.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's hilarious.
Okay, remember that Problem Child, yeah. But yeah, for some reason he was made for television somehow. Yeah, I don't know what it was. He was great on television. The whole physical comedy, he was fantastic at that. But then going to movies, TV movies, I don't know. It wasn't all for it. Anyways, I digress long enough. Let us get back to the art, everybody. From Magneto, we will be going next to. I don't even remember what we're going to. Let's take. Oh yes, we're sticking with Marvel for another piece, and this is kind of fun. Check this out. So this is from the Nom by Wayne Van Zandt and former Montrealer Jeff Isherwood, 1989. I gotta say, what drew me in here was the last panel. And it's because they both guys did a phenomenal job at aping Michael Golden in that panel. It looked like Michael Golden's first work in his first 12 issues. I was like, wow. Yeah, the lighting is just exquisite. But
the shadows for
the way that it's uplit, right? It's like he's holding a flashlight
under his face,
under his face, chin. Right? Yeah. It's just fantastic stuff. Yeah. Any memories about this page?
No, I got this sometime last year. I just decided I wanted a piece of artwork from the Nom because I had recently finished the run.
Okay.
So I decided I wanted a piece of artwork and did some quick eBaying, and this was. I don't want to say it was the first one I found. It was kind of the first one I found that jumped out at me and fell in my, my frugal price range I was looking for.
Sure. Yeah, these were always quite affordable. The only Nom stuff that was ever really expensive was the Michael Golden stuff, So if you wanted some stuff from the series and you didn't particularly care, if that didn't have to be Michael Golden, oh yeah, very affordable stuff.
Yeah.
Good evening, Tony. Tony's here saying hello. Good to see you, sir. Yeah. CJ says Ruben's Variety Show. Rare sodas, big boob comics, color and frame fun, sitcom situation. Hey, man, what can I say? You get it all when you come here.
People will start expecting this shit every week.
Variety is the spice of life, man. Oh, man, that's awesome. You can feel the heat, humidity, and fear of the Nom. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, you feel the sweat when it's pouring down. The beads of sweat going down their heads and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a really fun comic. I got to say, I don't know how many of you guys remember this, or even you, Scott. When they first came out with the comic, I remember I was really excited because, of course, 1986, all the Hollywood was on this whole trip of doing Vietnam War-based movies. And so when I heard about, we're going to do this Vietnam comic, the plan at the beginning was it's a month-by-month retelling of the entire 8-year war. That was the initial plan, right? And they were going to do month by month for 8 years. Now, even when they said that, I was excited, but I also still was realistic and said, there's no way Michael Golden is certainly going to stick with this title for more than a year or so. And then I thought, I don't think, even though Vietnam War, movies were hot at the time in Hollywood, I just knew it was a fad. I knew that the fad wasn't going to continue, right? People weren't going to be excited about the Vietnam War in like entertainment media for the next 8 years, And so I always knew that the title would get canceled long before they ever reached the end. And sadly, what I found sad is I actually would have preferred that did cancel it, and instead they decided to bring in the Punisher and make it like a fake. like war or whatever. Like it was no longer actual retelling of Nam stories. It was, like, yeah, just made up bullshit with,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm kind of glad I didn't continue collecting. I never got that far anyways, but I would have probably dropped it as soon as they decided to bring in the Punisher. But I guess it extended the life of the series for a little bit longer anyhow. I don't recall. Do you recall how long it went? I don't know how many issues it went, but into the 60s.
Yeah, somewhere in the 60s, I think.
I remember that. Yeah. But anyhow, just kind of interesting slice of life from the 80s. It was a needed counter programming to Rambo. Yeah. No, it was fun when it started for a little while anyways for me. Okay. So, let us now go to the next one. Paranoia, they destroy ya. Nice, Rickster. So the next one on the list here is, oh yeah, this is a cool one, which I know you're very proud of, and rightfully so. Check this out and talk to me about this one, Scotty.
Another eBay purchase.
Oh wow!
And I know at the time this was the most expensive piece I had bought.
Oh wow! Okay.
And remained that way for a long time. I can't remember the year. It'd probably be easy enough to find, but it was, again, probably early 2000s. And this was before sniper programs. So
Right.
I remember I was out in Vegas for a convention, and I remember having to get up at like 4 a.m. for this auction ending.
Wow.
to put my bid in on it.
Yeah, to snipe it.
And it happened to be the same night that they were demolishing the old Desert Inn.
Oh, okay.
So when I got up for this, and like as soon as this auction was over, they started. It was like almost like clockwork. They started blowing up the Desert Inn, and I could hear the charges going off.
Wow.
So that was kind of cool. But again, I was like about $600, I think, is what I paid for this back then.
Okay, and how long ago do you remember?
Yeah, around 2000.
Oh wow. Wow, yeah, that would have been considered quite a pricey piece for around the year 2000. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was one I wanted, so that's why I stayed up, and I think I went in and I bid like $2,000 with 10 seconds left, and
yeah
to make sure I got it. And
you see you used my technique of dropping the hammer. You're like,
Yeah.
you want it. You put in a bid that's way higher, than the actual fair value at the time, and drop the hammer on them for sure.
Yeah, I do the same thing now, but I use auction sniper instead.
Right. Yeah, Marcus
staying
knows
awake
what I'm
for
talking
things.
about. Marcus knows what I'm talking about. There we go, Rubén the Sniper. There you go.
But yeah, there's just so many characters on here. It's probably the best splash page for a couple of those characters.
Yeah. Did you ever figure out by any chance what the hell that weird pink thing is underneath Green Lantern's legs is?
I myself did not, but somebody informed me that it was Cyril, the Space Ranger's sidekick.
Oh, okay. I know nothing about Space Rangers, but now I do.
Yeah, I still don't know who it is, other than I'm taking this person's word for it on CAF.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because somebody else on CAF asked who it was, and then somebody else answered.
Okay, cool. I love that. Yeah, I love it when people, use the comment section on CAF to do something other than just say, hey, cool piece. Use it a little bit for conversation and information sharing, right?
Right, but again, this is one of those pieces where Spectre's bigger than life. He's holding the world over his head.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love the fact that he's holding the Earth. Yeah, that's really neat.
puts you in the mind of that Showcase 61 cover where they're fighting in space with planets.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
so this is
it's fantastic. Yeah, a great selection of characters on it, and a great composition. Yeah, really great. Love it. Yeah, a lot of people in the audience also digging it as well. CJ, Piggy, he's Piggy the spacey crotch sniffer, right? Right. I'll take it. I'll take it.
and then Jonathan, no, this is not my oldest piece by
any stretch of the
by
imagination.
quite a few years. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll be showing that actually, I believe right now. This next one is the Spectre from 1969,
and that is not my oldest piece either.
And even that's not it, right?
Yeah,
it's
my oldest Spectre piece.
The oldest Spectre piece, right. It's a really cool piece too. I love that. I like the motion thing, yes. Right?
Yes.
That is so cool at the top there. Wow, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 images of him like that. I mean, you only usually ever see that with the Flash and the Speedster characters, So it's kind of cool when you see that with the Spectre.
Right, and that top panel is has him. If you see, he's down towards the bottom of that panel too. So he's in that top panel 9 times.
Oh yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so 10 times on the entire page.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really neat. Yeah, very cool.
And I picked this up within the last couple weeks from Berkey.
Yeah. Mike got this from Mike, yeah. Yeah, that's a great buy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's close enough to me. I just made the drive over to his house and
oh, you picked it up in person. That's cool.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
picked
good.
a few things up from him, but yeah, this was definitely this jumped up to the top of my list.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, Jared Grandinetti, an EC, one of the EC artists from the 50s doing the pencils. And I love Murphy Anderson as an inker, so yeah, it's really a lot of fun. Really neat. Yeah, CJ says it's a doozy. It certainly is. Okay.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it was Murphy on Murphy, but
yeah, I love that. I know. Yeah.
One of these days.
Yeah. You can get them. They're not rare, so if you set your mind to it, you'll get one.
Well, I mean, there is only the Showcase 60, 61, 64. Right. Those 3 books that predated that.
Yeah. Again, you're willing to spend.
Yeah.
You can get.
Yeah. Maybe I'll find that Golden Age page someday, but
yeah, that would be pretty neat. Bowling. What's the bowling emoji for, Rick? Oh, okay, because he's bowling on the page, right. That's a good one. Are you kidding me? All right. So the next one we're going to go to is another Spectre related page from the Mandrake series that we've been talking about. And of course, I love this because it not only has the blue electric Superman. Not that I love the character per se. I've always loved the costume, though. Killer costume. A killer Batman in the middle with the Golden Age Flash, and then Swamp Thing coming in at the bottom. Oh, God. And of course, Spectre's there as well. So really love this page, man. I mean, you must have been pretty stoked to get this one.
Yes and no. It was
tell me.
Obviously, any Mandrake page, yeah. But it was like my biggest thing I remember about this is the argument I got in with, not argument. I wanted the owner to take it out of the frame for shipping.
Oh, and he insisted he couldn't.
Insisted on shipping it in the frame.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah.
And of course, when it showed up, the glass was broke.
Oh, yeah.
Fortunately, nothing got damaged, but that was just, that just.
Yeah. Say no more.
That's what stands. Me being pissed about the shipping is what stands out about this one. Because it's a phenomenal page. Um,
It's just that it has that negative memory that you can't help
yeah,
think about every time you look at it, right? Yeah, I know.
yeah,
I
and
hate that too.
it gets tons of views on calf, so it's pretty popular.
Yeah, I
Um,
can imagine. And CJ, no, that was not because they had stopped using the large art at the end, I think, of 67. So by 69, they were already using standard size, well, today's standard size,
but
So
it was
yeah.
hole punched art.
Hole punch art. Oh, was it a hole punch art?
Yep,
Oh, okay,
yep,
one of those. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
hole punch
whatever.
top and bottom for photographing or for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
It was already done there, whatever. I can live with that. That's no big deal. Frame shipping, crazy. Exactly. Who would do that? Unless it had a black mat. Exactly.
It was black on white. It was.
Yeah. Look,
It was.
CJ says probably colored frame also.
No, it was black on white, no color at all.
These guys are never gonna let it go. Oh my god. Thanks, Ruben. Don't know how much about DCR. Yeah. No, you're welcome for sure, CJ. Anytime. My pleasure. All right. So next one, yes. Tell us a little bit of a story behind the Netsuka page here. Everybody, just so you know, you are not seeing a cut off original art piece. That is the art piece on the left. And actually, on the right, normally, while I would normally put the published piece, what you are looking at is not the published piece. I instead chose to put a image of the presentation that Scott himself created. And you're looking that still on the right hand side, that is still the original art again. So talk to us about this a little bit, Scott.
All right. So I've been after a Pratt piece for a long time. I say after one. It's been on my list. It was never at the top of my list. I finally decided to put a piece of work from him to the top of my list, and that's when he exponentially raised the price of his art on his website, because he still has some Netsuke art available.
Oh, I see.
And he's got a few War Idol pieces available.
Okay.
But the particular piece I was looking for went from, in a matter of a month, went from $1,500 to $8,000 is what he raised his price to on it.
He raised it from what to 8,000?
From $1,500 to 8,000.
Wow.
So, and so this is the first panel from the first page of the first issue. He still has available the last panel from the last page of the last issue, which I like bookends, but he also wants $8,000 for that panel.
Holy crap. Wow.
But anyway, so I've been scouring eBay and CAF and wherever I could looking for a page, and I just wasn't even doing an international search, and somehow this popped up in my feed one day from Italy, France.
Okay.
Somewhere that's not America.
Okay. Well, I'm so glad. Even guys who come in for the first time ever get in on the fun. I love it. I gotta highlight collectibles to astonish. Greedy Gretchen. Awesome, bro. Awesome. Love it. Oh man.
Not to harp on Pratt and his pricing, but if you look at his site, you can see anything that's sold still has its original sales price. So you see a lot of these pieces that sold for $600-900. A few were $300. And he apparently noticed the comic boom of the last couple years and
right. Yeah.
And took advantage. He's still not going to sell any of it at that price, but anyway.
But yeah, it's his right. Whatever it is.
Right. It's his art.
Yeah.
But I found this in, I think, Italy, maybe France, wherever it was.
Yeah, overseas.
It was overseas.
Mark is telling you that the price hike must have tested your budgetary discipline.
No, his price hike, there was no test involved. It was no.
Yeah, that was like an easy pass,
Yeah, easy pass. But anyways, I stumbled across that, and guy wouldn't budge on it, so I had to give him his asking price, which was well under $8,000. That's for sure.
Okay.
And the whole time, all I was thinking about making this acetate overlay to recreate page one, and it just worked out perfect, because that's kind of a page that if it didn't have the overlay with it, there's very few people that would know what that was.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
It looks almost I don't know what the word would be, but it's not complete. It feels like it's incomplete, like there's a lot missing, and then you
Yeah.
dress it up that way, and you're like, okay, there you go, right? Because that
Somebody
whole
that's a Pratt fan may notice his style and go, yeah, that
right,
looks like a Pratt.
right.
But are
Right.
they instantly going to go Netsuki?
Yeah. And the thing about it is that framing sequence with the white, it's all part of the design of the page, you see. So, right, he designed it so that it would be published that way, looking, with the white, negative space background. So when you don't have that, it looks like it's missing stuff, right? So like
Right.
incomplete, if you will. Yeah. So great job, man. Great job. You did a really good job with that. Yeah. Okay, everyone. For those of you contemplating dropping off, just to let you know, there's only a few pieces left. I think three pieces left, and we'll be done for tonight. So let us get to the next one. We are going to be sticking with Marvel again here. And I'm going to be toggling back and forth, my friends. Here we go. It's a double page splash with a killer image of Mystique. Love this, man. Love it, love it, love it. Check this out, guys. I love that she's like, I don't know, there's something sexy about the physique she has, the really muscular legs, the tiny waist, the really muscular arms. I love the hair, especially. I love how she did, her and Alan did the hair. It's just, I don't know, just really, really, really cool. I think it's because it might remind me of Native American headdresses. I think that's what it kind of makes me think of. But
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah, but
And this is another piece. This is from that same Wizard World in Columbus.
Same one. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I wasn't there looking for X-Men by any stretch, but in the process of getting some Valiant off of her, I came across this and just knew it was a good piece to have.
Yeah.
I just was drawn to. I like busy work. I like busy pages.
Sure. Sure. Tony's loving it. He thinks it's fire.
Yeah. And then she started to autograph all these, and personalize them to me, and I had to stop her because I didn't want them. She just asked if I wanted her to sign them.
Okay.
And I go, yeah, that'd be great. And then she started to personalize them, and I kind of felt bad when I stopped her. But she had already personalized most of them by then. By the time I realized she was writing to Scott on all of them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a shame, but whatever. In your case, because you don't sell anything, at least you've never so far.
Right.
It's right. It's not. Who cares? Whatever. It's for you. Why not? It's it's fine. Right. Eventually, when you're no longer of this earth, somebody else will still buy it, even though it says to Scott. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. But I do know what you mean. I also feel like, I've always felt that. I mean, we didn't create the art. We had no part in creating it. If that's the case, nobody's name should be on it. Nobody should ever have their name written on it. Because of the fact that it doesn't matter how long you hold on to it for, eventually it's not going to go to the grave with you. Somebody else will own it eventually, right? Why have some random person's name on it, right? So, what I don't like is when artists, and I remember Roger Robinson back in my San Diego days when I used to go every year. Roger Robinson on Azrael, right? I would buy art from him. He would always insist that he would have to inscribe it to me, to my name. And it's like, like in the end, I actually sold them off because it bugged me to see my name on them. Right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, because here's the thing, it's not just that it's my name, but it says to Rubén. And I just want to say something about that. And you guys listening, and even you, Scott, can tell me what you feel about this. The whole thing about inscribing a collectible, that whole thing started back in the day with like baseballs, when Babe Ruth or whatever baseball player back in the day would give a kid a ball. Hey, to little Johnny, good luck to you, whatever, right?
And the old movie star promo posters and promo headshots and
yeah, exactly, that kind of stuff, right?
It all the PR stuff.
It had nothing to do with value and collectibles for value, right? It was just a memento. They were just mementos, and so it made sense. It's a memento, and I'm meeting you. You're gonna say, "Hey, to whoever." No cash is changing hands, right? So my view was always in this hobby, right? In any hobby these days, in our lifetimes, it's all transactional. It's all transactional. We're paying money for this. So why should you force me to accept? I'm giving you money and you're going to force me to have to say, oh, to Rubén, like on the artwork. Like, I don't get that. Like, it just,
It wouldn't bother me if it was on the back of the art.
Yeah, maybe that, at least on the back. Exactly.
If it was on the back, it still wouldn't. I'd rather not have it, but if it was on the back, it wouldn't bother me. Out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I kind of agree with you. I don't know that I would get rid of them just because they're personalized, but if I ever frame them, I would make sure that was matted out.
Yeah. If possible, right? Sometimes it's not possible.
But those 18 by 24 Itoyas are perfect for putting double page spreads in. And that's where it's been for basically since I got it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Marcus, he's making a joke. Obviously, hey, sign it. Who shall I sign it to? Sign it to eBay, please. Right? But that's the funny thing is that's why I hate it, because even though I would get these artists telling me, oh yeah, I have to sign it to you. Like, it pissed me off even more, because I knew that even if they did it to my name, which of course it's even worse because, how many people do you know named Rubén? You know what I mean? It's not a common name. And so, but I always knew that even with that name on it, I knew that I could sell it. These artists think that as soon as you put somebody's name on it, you can't sell it anymore. And they're so wrong. They're so wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I'll admit there are collectors who won't pick up pages if they're inscribed to people. Okay. But there are still enough collectors who will still buy it that it's not an issue anyways, So they're doing it for the wrong reasons, just to stop you from selling it. It makes no sense. You can still sell it, So that's why it pisses me off. But
there's some people who their autograph schedule is based on how they sign. It costs more to have name only than it does to get personalized.
Yeah.
And some of them it's significantly different.
Right. Yeah, make it out to Dong. There you go. See, these guys are busting my chops again. They're busting my chops again. Look at that.
I've got a couple over there that are faded iron oxide ink. I think I need to get them touched up.
Hey, that's a good question. Marcus, you were at the convention with the famous re-inker. What's his name? Speak of the devil. Roger Robinson's inker on Azrael. I always forget his name, but he was at the San Francisco show today. Was he busy re-inking pieces? What was happening there? Let me know. Hopefully not, man. Oh my God. But $300 piece signed to someone, or a $500 piece not signed. Same quality, I'll buy the signed. Yeah? $300. Oh, because it's cheaper, you mean? Just to get, same quality, right? Because you're saving money. Yeah, for sure. I get that, Murdoch. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, thank you, Caesar. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not even going to mention it. Now he has to explain. Yeah, now you got to explain to Dong. Exactly. No, not busy. Okay. Yeah. Still gotta find out why it wasn't busy. I'm still curious. CJ, come on, are you serious? You think you think I was lying last week? I did that whole speech for nothing, like I was just making it up? Oh man, come on. Well, we'll have to talk about it one day. If once you have time and you come on as my guest in studio, we can chat about that. We'll bring it up again and we'll talk about it, man. But yeah, okay. So almost done, everyone. Thank you again, everybody, for hanging in this long. Really appreciate you. And for those of you who haven't done so, if you could click the thumbs up button, would really appreciate that. That would be nice. I haven't asked all night, and yeah, if you're here for the first time and think that you may like what you like what you saw and may be back in the future to watch more, consider subscribing. But if you think you're never going to be back, don't bother subscribing. I'm good with that. Thank you. Chenkui. Let's see. So great. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, you get okay. Okay. Oh, sorry. Here, I'm busting my chops again. Yeah, that's all you've been doing all night, man. Great collection, Scott from Dwayne's of Pain.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Great show from Mark. Thanks for sharing. But guys, don't leave. I promise. It's almost done. I still got a couple of pieces. Let me show you real quick. Here we go. Yeah, just 2 more pieces. Okay, so one by Greg, and the last one is my favorite one. That's why I kept that one for last. All right, so this is another Greg Land piece. I love it for the reasons that you love it, Scott. I think I was just enthralled by all the heads on a shelf. Basically, it's like Elf on a shelf, but severed heads instead.
I knew absolutely nothing about the story, anything going on. I just saw severed heads, and that's why I bought it.
And you're there. You're like, I'm in.
That's exactly it. I'm in. And it was funny during the sale after I picked the second piece. The guy from C4 said he's picking some pretty macabre shit. Well, because both the pieces I got so far had been, basically severed head pieces. So.
Awesome. And here come the boys. Here come the boys in the chat with the comments. Headers hide. We're gonna do recap
or decap.
Heading in the right direction. Good evening to you, West, by the way. Thank you for dropping in. And cool floating heads. Severed to boot. Exactly. And I gotta ask Marcus, because I think Marcus, you would know. That guy at the bottom. At first I was like, who's this Chinese super powered guy? But then I realized, I was like, oh my God, please don't tell me that this is the oh God, now I'm blanking. It came to me when I saw it and now I'm blanking. The whatchamacallit, man. You're probably gonna say it before I do. From the Contest of Champions from 1983. Oh, no idea? Oh, okay. You never read Contest of Champions? When they had all those international superheroes. God, I can't believe I'm blanking on it now. But anyway, but he was a hero. So that's why I'm wondering if it's him, because that means they would have made him a villain because he's severing heads now for the Chinese mafia, apparently, from what I read when I looked at the page online. Okay. Yeah, Tony. Yeah, exactly. That's why I loved it. And that's why Scott bought it. So. He's just saving face. You guys are on point tonight, baby. On point. Awesome. Okay, everybody. Thank you again for dropping in and hanging out. Mark, as a Chinese, I can say this: we all look alike. Oh man, that's good. Well, to the Guai Lows, you do. Mind you, if you're Chinese from where, Mark? I'm assuming maybe, I don't know if I can assume Hong Kong or originally the family. Then you would know what I'm saying when I say Guaylo. But if your background is from the mainland, I unfortunately forget how to say that. From Singapore.
The only thing I want to know about this picture is the dead space behind the live guy's head. Is there another head there, or is that room for the next head.
I don't. What do you mean? You
So
on
the second shelf, does it have 3 heads
Yeah.
on it, or is there an empty spot in the middle?
Yeah. That's an empty spot, I assume. Right? I mean,
that's what I would think, but I'm not.
Yeah. It's
Again, that's I'm hoping to find somebody who's read
Well,
that story arc and knows
you
what's
know
going
what?
on.
You know what? It's empty because look at the bottom panel. If there was another head there, I think we would see at least a little bit from behind the superheroes or supervillains
Yeah.
head. You know what I mean? I think we might see a little bit of it. I have a feeling it's like an empty spot for the next head, you know? Ah, there you go. Yes, thank you, Rickster. I appreciate the research for me, man. Yes, the collective man. Yes, Rubén DaCollector, man. Yes, I'm dying to know because it's the only Chinese character I ever knew, and I'm just curious because if it's him, I just wondered what made him go from hero to basically villain and sever a bunch of heads, you know? So. Not that I need to know, but I'm very curious. But okay, everybody. So that's a very cool page. And now we're moving on to the last piece of the evening. And here we go. Let me bring us back here. So I decided for the last piece of the evening to honor Scott because he's a huge Spectre fan. I felt might as well end with a Spectre piece again. And this one he just recently got. And again, like the one by Michael Zulli and Vince Locke, I was like, oh, this is like if I saw this, I would grab it. Like I'd buy this in a second. And I normally don't like to get penciled art, but ooh, wow, the pencil rendering on this, the style, gorgeous. So let's take a look at this, everybody. Oh my God, so beautiful. Check it out. By Riccardo Federici from Lazarus Planet Omega #1, which just came out. Couple weeks ago, in fact.
Yeah.
Actually,
2 weeks ago, I think. Friend on IG, Mark from Legion of Comics. Whenever he finds Spectre in a book, he's a big DC fan. Whenever he finds Spectre somewhere, he'll send me, tell me what book to go pick up that has Spectre in it. But when he saw this, he sent me snaps of the pages. And as soon as he sent me this page, I just fell in love with it. So
yeah,
I did some quick digging and found Federici online, and then found his Facebook page and his IG page, and luckily it was still available. Surprised
CJ
me.
says it's complimenting you with a great and varied collection, and thank you for sharing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
pleasure
stunning.
To do it. But yeah, I just loved his page. It was lucky it was available, and I was a little scared having to do an international wire transfer for it. But
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, he checked out. It was legit. So
yeah, and Marcus,
and
you're right.
Here.
You're yeah, exactly, and it's in the right home anyway. So that's awesome. Yeah, Marcus, you're right. I don't get it. What is it? 1.2 billion? Ah, there we go. Yeah, really cool. 1.2 billion on planet Earth, and only so far what that makes. Unless that's the same guy, then it's only one. Then it's still only one Chinese character. Yeah, it's other than Shang-Chi. I mean, yeah, that's pretty sad. But
and
all right,
I like that page too because it's Spectre doing Spectre things, bigger than life. Just being the badass he is.
Very Spectre-y things. Yes, exactly. No, it's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so guys, I see Jesus, all of a sudden a handful of people just dropped off. Well, thank you. You could have said bye, but okay, I won't hold it against you. Thank you so much, guys. Next week, just to remind you all. Here's what's happening next week. We'll be having Comic Art Show and Sell #8. All right. Featuring art from the 60s to present. And it will be at my usual time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. So I want you to come and stake your claim. So yeah, I thought that was kind of catchy. No? I don't know. But I think yes, sales, Marcus, sales. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe no sales. Certainly stuff available for sale. So hopefully, yes. Daddy needs to pay for some very expensive orthodontics. So hopefully we can sell some stuff and get that done. But yeah, that'll be at the usual time. But it will be 30 pieces instead of my usual 40. And for the first time ever, I will probably be doing a recap at the end. Just because, for no other reason than I've never tried it before. So I figure with 10 less pieces than usual, I've got some time. So we'll try a recap and we'll see how it goes. So thanks, Scott. Hey, I really, really appreciate you doing this, agreeing to do it, man. It's been really a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it.
Sure did.
Excellent.
Sure did. Who doesn't like talking about themselves, right?
Was that?
Who doesn't like talking about themselves?
Excellent, Murdoch. I appreciate it. I hope to see you next week. And hey, Collectibles to Astonish, thanks again for dropping in to support your boy, man. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, actually. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And yeah, that was a great finger pose. Thank you, Caesar. Scott, great art. There you go.
Thank you.
Better compliments than that. So yeah, thanks again, Scott. Stick with me for a minute, will you?
Sure.
And everybody else, I will see you next week, I guess. Please tell anybody you know who sometimes watches the show, who's more into only watching claim shows. I would appreciate it if you would let them know about it, because Sunday nights for claim shows aren't usually sort of the best time. So I would have appreciated any word of mouth is good word of mouth. Thank you very much as usual, Maki Poo Poo. Really appreciate you. Go have a great lunch, Mark. Thank you again for coming in and for everything that you contribute, man. It was a great having you here as always. Really appreciate it. Yeah, awesome art, Scott, again. So yeah, perfect. Thank you. And thank you as always, Marcus. Really, really appreciate you too. And do I have a link to post for next week's show? Well, no. I mean, if you're subscribed, you'll get the notification. And I haven't scheduled the show yet, Murdoch. I'll be scheduling it either tonight or tomorrow. And then you'll get notified if you're subscribed and have the notifications set. Yeah. So just, you're here every week. So just go to my channel tomorrow, if not tonight. And you'll see the video link and the video thumbnail already put up. It's the one that I just showed. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to close out the show with that anyways. And oh, I see. You mean so you can pass the link around or whatever. I appreciate it. Yeah, but yeah, I don't have it obviously here, but if you can just go to the video when I do it, it'll be there, like I said, by tomorrow at the latest. Yeah, I'd appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And thanks again to everybody else. And that's it. We'll leave you with next week's thumbnail. And it was a great time. We'll see you next week. Peace.